Hello, everybody! Welcome to Friday Night Dungeons and Dragons on God Mode. We are playing our campaign that we've always been playing, Wyrd and Wyld. This is session 101, Witchlight Hour. I'm Jaso the DM, who is joining me on this fine Friday evening.
Hello, I'm Bailey. I will be playing the androgynous Eidolon College of Glamour Bard Glace.
Hey everyone, it's Luke. I'm playing Aesop, Kinku Alchemist, and his alter ego Subject 22.
And I'm not Sun Kong, because he won't be here this week, but I'm Slim, and I'll be playing Renkaz, a lizard folk fighter of the martial archetype of the gunslinger.
I'm Kyle, and I'm playing Barre Lobedo. She's an arcane trickster that reskinned to be an tech wizard extraordinaire, and also Chemo. He's a giant.
Hi everybody, I'm Nick. I play Envidi, a half-elf celestial tome warlock, and I have the most phenomenal familiar of all time, a pseudo-dragon named Jira.
Thank you, everybody. As mentioned, Sun Kong / Kevin will not be here this week, so the faces may be in different spots than the names, so hopefully you remember. If not, we have 100 other sessions to help you remember. A big thank you from last week. Actually, a big thank you first off to 8-Bit Ribbit, as always, for character art. Go check her out. It's the number 8 and then Bit Ribbit at Twitter. I think she has a website, just 8-Bit Ribbit. Go take a look. She does awesome art. Plenty of great artists out there, but I just really love the style that she has. So go take a look at her. Follow her. See, she is pretty consistent in terms of commissions and stuff like that. At least it seems like this year. So go take a look. Go get some art from her if you want. Go support her.
Yeah, 8bitribbit.com.
Thank you to our viewers and followers from last week. There was an absolute ton. A large portion of them were gifted, but even so, I'm still really appreciative of all of that support. Thank you, A Druid Life for me, Chosen. Thank you, Husband and Wife Stream for the bits and the. I think you guys did some gifted subs too. Thank you for that. Thank you, Panda Man. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Poochie Man. And then Queen Gore, it was great having you last week, and thank you so much for all of those gifted subs and all that stuff. We have Twitch channel points, as I always mention, so as you guys are watching and just hanging out with us, you're building up points that are just built in, and you can check that out at the bottom left of the chat in terms of all of the cool stuff that you can get. Those have been updated too. So you can see some fun stuff that you can use those for, stuff like inspiration for the party, +1 to rolls, and we know they work because they've actually turned fails into successes in clutch moments. So take a look at that stuff. It's a lot of fun. If you are following, and then on top of that, if you're subscribing, you actually get a multiplier to that too, so you can interact more steadily. But even if you're just checking us out and are not even following, you'll be building up points that you can use to buy fun stuff. Speaking of fun stuff, we switched from stream avatars now to stream stickers, and I switched it so it's not in the panel right now. It's actually built into the actual like Twitch video, like over on the right hand side. So any of you guys watching, if you mouse around, it should pop up over on the right side. And we added a Aesop sticker, so now we have both a Glace and Aesop sticker that you can slap around on the screen. I made sure I think we're gonna do it at least for our TTRPG stuff where the sound for the stickers is off, only because I don't want to get into like a great roleplay moment and then have someone slap like a giant fart sticker on the screen. So you can slap as many stickers as you want. Go ham. But we're just going to keep the audio off, at least for the TTRPG stuff. And I'm just playing other games and having fun. Give me all the farts that you want. But yeah, plenty of fun stuff on there. We have channel-specific stickers and even some exclusive ones if you're a subscriber. And plenty of global ones. So just take a look at that. I think there's like 15, at least in the panel, there's like 15 pages of stickers to play around with it. So have fun with that. Throw them out at opportune times when someone rolls a 20 or a natty 1. Go ham. Follow us on Twitter too to receive updates on when we go live or when I'm just playing other games, and you can get caught up to date. I've been trying to post more like up to date stuff, like, hey, here's a new sticker. I didn't do it with Aesop's because I was like, hey, maybe not post like murder kill up on the screen.
I think you could do that. That'd be pretty
But
fun.
I mean, probably. It looks like the sound is on for the stickers, so whoops.
Sorry.
That's
Just
okay.
testing it.
That's fine. I'm pretty sure I turned it off, but that's all right. I'll play with it. I'll play with it for next time. That is really all of my housekeeping. Follow us here on Twitch if you want. Get more fun stuff like more Twitch channel points, and if you sub, you get cool exclusive stickers and all kinds of cool stuff. It also supports the channel, and then I just go blow it all at the Roll20 Marketplace, and the players get cool maps. So check that out. Thank you very much. It's time for some inspiration. Looks like you, Nick, at least don't have inspiration, so let's throw you some.
Thank you. Just trying to make sure I didn't die.
It's an important thing, and you still have some injuries to recover from. You
I
are
do.
not fully out of the woods just yet, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So if you guys feel the need to switch your inspiration cards, you can do so now, but I have a feeling everyone was pretty happy with theirs from last session, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 2.
Oh, that's right. Lucky boy over here. As a...
Chat.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, my future chat. As a quick recap, just for you guys, because I know it can be a little hard to keep in mind. We'll roll for the recap, but just so everyone knows, you guys had 2 10 days before the time for this consortium meeting about the last Witchlight Marauder was to take place. A 10-day is, just as it sounds, 10 days, so 20 days overall before this event takes place. You guys, last session, were beginning to travel the Twixt, covering some ground and doing some side objectives and kind of just doing your last-minute preparations. 5 days passed during the last session, so you guys have 15 days left. So just keep that in mind. Also, NVD, what are your current injuries and what levels are they at?
Current injuries. Sorry about coughing in the microphone. Current
That's
injuries as of session 99 would be 2 torso and 1 right arm.
Okay. Just keep that in mind. Now, let's roll to see who wants to give the recap from last week.
Oh, everyone's ultimates. Suck a big fat one.
Oh.
Does.
Oh.
Oh,
Beady.
That's a shame that you got a 20 on this, but
Yes, it
that's
is.
still pretty cool.
Hey, Slim, what happened last time on Weird and Wild?
Well, this would suck if it was for last week, because I'd have to tell the whole story all over again.
It all started in episode 1.
Oh man, it was 2 weeks ago. I remember we hopped back. We started back on the ship and rolled for about an hour's worth of playtime trying to heal all of our injuries. And VD wasn't 100% lucky on getting all of his, but most of his are gone and most everybody else's are gone. I healed all of mine. We contacted Jadra about meeting up with them and coming to speak with them. That was our next stop. We did contact Neo Gokyo about my personal business. Me and Glace maybe still teleporting there to work on schematics to get a body ready for Kaz. We got a call from Udu from Gani's, I think was it her niece or her daughter? I can never remember.
It is her niece.
It is her niece. That her...
You guys killed her undead mom.
That's right. That to commune with the spirits, to contact with Kaz, and see if he even wants to come back. They said they were all prepped and ready, and that was going to be our next stop after we hit up Jadra. follower or familiar friend that we still have left on the ship, the three ladies and the giant old man, the blue man, the arcane man. He vanished and faffed off for a bit, but the other three said that they'd like to stay, and that's the end of it. We really have no say in Lizzie, Ukog, or Olgani leaving. We talked to patrollers as well about their current situation, that they have really a very few in their forces left, and we actually found a quiet little spot out in the galaxy, or the Twixt, a small, remote, uninhabited or unfound planet that was nothing more than a beautiful ocean view with waves just like that. A beautiful sunset where we all got to hang out, and Aesop and Old Ganny ran naked through the ocean.
I don't remember that part. I think you must have dreamed that.
Thank you very much, Brinkaz, for that succinct recap. You find a weird bit in your pocket.
I'd give it to Aesop and tell him to hold on to it, but I don't think he's wearing pants at the moment.
I clearly am. Can see them.
You guys all currently find yourselves on the beach of a unnamed resort-like planet. Doesn't seem to be any other inhabitants or occupants, at least around here. It is quiet. The sun sets in the distance over the rolling mountains, lush green, covered by a orangish purple haze as the sun fades away, lighting up the waves between hues of yellow, orange, purple, and green, with some blue tinted all around. They crash onto the beaches. Some of the water, to some of you standing near it, it laps across your feet and recedes back in. The three women who are the, actually technically four, including Kui, of your crew, are settling down and just enjoying themselves. They brought a couple of drinks, some food from the ships, and are sort of building a small area where you guys can relax. Clatter follows you, Glacé, looking down at the sand, watching some very small crabs crawl around on its steel feet. So yes, you guys find yourselves here. And Vidi, it's difficult in some ways because you still have the stinging pain of your injuries, but the sensation of being on this nice resort area fills you with a sense of ease, and to some extent helps to bide the pain that you're feeling. Thank you very much to Nerds for following. So, with that said, what do you guys do?
Fucking chill?
I mean, we should definitely look around the place before we decide to relax.
What? Oh, can't you just let it go once? They
I
said
used
this
to
was
be able to do-
uninhabited.
No. No, let's look around.
You know, my home is a planet like this.
Deserted?
No, there's a few of us. I mean, we have a small little tribe of lizard folk. We're a little more advanced and less savage, but it's beaches all over. Like I said before, we don't go in the jungles much unless we're hunting. Usually just kind of lounge by the shore side. A couple of caves.
That's nice.
So, what do you do on your planet? Can you show us so we can enjoy this planet?
Pretty much what we're doing now, just hang out, relax. It's usually pretty quiet. I mean, we live here, but we do pursue trade off planet every now and then. It's nice, but very casual. I mean, not to sound stereotypical or anything, but you know how lizards just kind of like sit on rocks and sun themselves? Yeah, that's what they just
Okay,
kind of
but
hang out.
What predators do you have in your world? Is it like
You've been adventuring too long. You see where your head's at?
I-
Oh. The terrible things live in the jungle. That's why we don't go out there. Big, nasty, angry things. I mean, especially ones, they don't like our singing. Anyone who sings, instantly dead. Especially ones with
we can't be
blonde
here. We can't
scales.
stay here. This is not the plan for us. This is bad. Old Ganny, I think
I'm
your
joking.
scanners are whatever you were doing.
You look back and see old Ganny laying on the sand closer to where the sand gives way to the grassy area before cutting into the beach. She's laying flat on her back with her witch's hat covering her face,
Oh, she's
probably
dead.
sleeping already.
Okay, well, at least this was a nice place to come to die.
I have sand sickness. I'm dying. I'm
Oh,
dying. Glace. Oh,
Fucking
Tell-
finally.
Let me
tell.
help you.
Hush! I said hello, and I very dramatically and obviously fakely keel over on the beach, face down in the sand.
Well, out of all the times we ever had to perform, that was the one performance.
Oh, no, it's coming back again! Ah!
Hurry up and die. We can have bird for dinner.
Ah!
Ba, help him! Ba, do something for him. Oh, please.
I'm
Ba.
feeling faint too, and I might undercome it too underneath this shade of this tree.
Oh, it claims another. Glace's rampant paranoia. Oh, manifested as a terrible disease which claims us all one by one. Such a tragedy.
It's psychically buzz killing me.
It's a good thing Ileona isn't here. I think she would just burst into flames with all the sun.
Oh, that's true.
Isn't that what happens to darklings? Isn't that?
I know it's very unpleasant for them. Aesop is still face down in the sand as he's saying all this.
I didn't know you were part ostrich.
I'm not. It's very, very offensive, but it's fine.
My apologies.
They don't actually bury their heads in the sand. It's
It's just a kinku thing?
no.
I mean, whatever you're into, buddy.
Someone bring me a drink. Someone bring me 3 drinks, please.
Can I mage hand him refreshments?
Sure,
bring up.
sure.
I brought a lot of alcohol. I'm gonna grab a little sand and just put it in a container and take it with me.
Oh, that's fun.
Who all drinks the alcohol?
Oh, me within reason.
I will take some alcohol and then go look for the monsters that are spying on us.
Fa will reach for one, and then Chemo will grab his and hers.
This massive arm just passes by her and grabs the 2.
Fine. Going on the scout mission.
I'm not going with them. I'm sure they're fine.
Good, we don't need you.
I will not drink. I will take a scouting mission with them.
Oh my god.
You're all so boring.
I just want to see this place. This place is beautiful.
I consider myself a master at luxury and relaxation. However, my sister is missing. We've been through hell, and we've been on planets where it was just relaxing before. So, yeah, I'm a little jaded. Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh,
But
that wasn't even a joke. We actually did go through hell. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Sort of.
Kui
I mean, yeah, it kind of was fun.
Kui gets up and says, "This place is beautiful. I wouldn't mind tagging along. Maybe I can see more of it." She heads your way, Gloss.
Ooh, looks like you're gonna be all alone with old Ganny.
Is anyone else staying on the beach?
Lizzie and Ukog raise their hands, and Sun Kong.
I'm dipping my talons in the water. I'll let you know if any voracious sharks come leaping out to consume us.
I'll stay here and meditate if that's cool.
Make sure Nvidi doesn't get hurt, Aesop.
Oh, yes, leave me with him. I have such a good track record with that.
Oh,
No, he'll be fine.
we're really good friends, actually.
I still have the other resurrection scroll, Aesop says, patting frantically. I
Oh.
still have it. It's
That's
with me.
that's no way to refer to Nvidi. He has saved our lives many times.
It's a fun goof.
So, Glace, where does you and your scouting party head to?
To the jungle.
You see the coastline in front of you as it curves along this coast area here. Dotted all around are various palm trees and tropical flora. Behind you, some yards, the beach curtails back into the grassy patch of mainland before some feet from there, probably like a good 20 yards, mixed with a variety of flora and bushes and stuff like that. There is a tree line that is visible, all with a tropical tinge to it. The sunlight, as it is continuing to recede behind the mountains, still gives a proper amount of lighting to where your vision wouldn't be hindered. If anything, because the way it is setting, it actually provides a decent view of lighting entering into the jungle-like area. You hear the occasional caw of birds and the sound of the waves crashing behind you. Otherwise, without any checks, it is rather peaceful.
I'd like to take a nature check to see if I see any, like, fruit of sorts. Something that I could maybe just bring back to the ship. Throw in the farming area. I don't know. Let's see if fate altered itself. Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
there you
nice.
Well, you, almost without even needing to roll a check, are able to see plenty of coconuts up in the palm trees that are a variety that you could grab. You do also see that amongst some of the flora in between here and the jungle tree line, along the grassy patches are a variety of bushes, some bearing different types of fruit. With that check, you would be able to use your proficiency in nature to be able to make sure and grab the particular berries that you feel would be the least dangerous for the crew to be able to consume.
Awesome. A little variety for the ship, seeing as we don't have a big crew anymore.
I would like to check for anything that looks like it's been made by people, like traps or huts, or any broken branches, or
Okay.
anything like that.
You can give me a perception or probably more prevalent an investigation check.
Oh no. Okay.
I would
Let's-
pause on there so she'll do investigation with you.
Oh yeah, investigation. Oh well, I did perception. Oops.
Whoa. Fa.
Glossy, you peer around and don't really see anything that sticks out to you as something that is not natural here. Nothing that looks man-made. Fa, you using your investigation peer around, knowing that various tribes, various people who live out in the outskirts and not in large urban areas do a pretty good job of making sure that any of their traps or anything that they want to set to catch prey are relatively hidden. However, you do not see anything that would denote any type of man-made pieces of traps or nets or anything that stand out to you peering around.
I pull out the crystal communicator and look at the color.
It is a milky white.
Okay, alright. Maybe old Guinea's right. Maybe this place really is uninhabited.
I got it. We're the first ones here, outside of the local wildlife. We call it Wild Nautica.
I mean, yeah, that's got a ring to it. Cool.
Classe, look out!
What?
You're in danger of relaxing.
No.
Oh God, that's so awful.
Valray, that is not funny.
Classe, it's at this point that you begin to feel something brushing past your foot.
I look to see what it is.
You see a blue crab passing by, quickly skittering back out towards the sea.
Oh. Okay. Alright. Well, that's a blue crab. Alright, well, so there's crabs here, and is that it? Is that the only thing that's there?
That's all you guys see.
Hey, who wants to, on the beach, if you guys can hear me, use the ear.
Sorry, we're all dead. There was a giant kraken in the ocean. We're being strangled by its mighty tentacles.
Oh, that's awesome. We just saw a blue crab, so there's plenty
Oh,
of,
that's cute.
that's dinner.
Ooh.
Better go
Yes.
get it then.
Fa, let us hunt.
Get some crafts.
I'm already out of here, so let's go. She pulls out a revolver and just...
You're gonna shoot the crab?
Kui, having crouched down, poking at the crab, says, "Dinner."
Nobody move.
Oh, no. Don't shoot the crab!
Let's go look for let's go look for crabs. I pull out my revolver. Let's go.
You can see that one.
just pull out like a desert eagle for a tiny little crab. Just completely obliterates it.
Are you shooting the crab?
No. Put it away. Alright, what's your plan then? You've clearly got one, right?
I was gonna say something a little less deadly, like a dagger, or
Oh,
maybe
hey.
a rapier.
Or this net gun.
Start stabbing the shit out of this poor
You
little
get-
crab.
You guys have a net gun?
Yeah, I built one.
Oh.
And I have my net thing, my little net cage that I throw everybody in. Oh,
Sure.
perfect.
Well, then you guys get the food.
Okay.
We'll have a little cookout since nothing's here and everything's safe.
Aesop is sitting in the shallow part of the ocean because he's got light bird bones and doesn't want to get swept away, and has just got his claw, sunk into his big strong hand sunk into the sand, and is just kind of relaxing and imagining them trudging through a sweaty, insect-laden forest, worrying themselves to death.
Are there any big, super big leaves that we can get to make like an umbrella? Clatter can just hold them the entire time like an umbrella.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the palm trees nearby, the size of the leaves here, if you were to crawl up and pick some off, would definitely cover some of the sun or light.
Oh. Well, we have a monkey. Can I demand him go up the tree and get them?
You call out to Sun Kong to do this, and he bounds over to you guys and, wrapping his tail around one of the trees, says, "Sure thing!" and bounds up the tree, wrenching off a couple of the leaves with their stalks, and then dropping back down to hand them off to you guys.
Okay. So what I'm gonna have Clatter do is I'm gonna put these leaves together like an umbrella, and then have Clatter hold them like an umbrella stand.
How do you tie them together?
I'll just have Clatter hold them together.
Clatter grips the ends of the stalks in its steel fist and does that thing where it just stands motionless next to you, except extending its arm out to put the palm tree umbrella over you.
So yeah, I'll walk out to the beach, And I guess I'll take my shoes off, sit down in the sand under clatter, take a deep breath, and try to relax.
Okay. Rinkaz, Far, are you guys actually hunting crab?
Sure.
Hunt that crab. Hunt that crab.
Give me some survival checks.
Alright. Yes.
Oh, Rinkaz.
Fantastic. I was just going to say I'm going to use a point of luck, but you know what? Screw it.
Ruh-roh. Here, let me just take one of these.
Oh my god, did they just come back covered in crabs, like just pinching them and
I found this mound of tiny crabs. They look like ants.
You guys hear the commotion of Rinkaz and Fa. And
we just hear gunshots and see a bunch of crabs scurrying from the forest.
yeah, you actually see a number of crabs crawling in between their legs, getting away. You hear the sound of one gunshot go off and ring into the distance. It echoes against the distant mountains as it covers over the coast here.
Hits chemo.
Oh,
Square in the back of the head, we have to revive him immediately.
After like 15 or so minutes, Rinkaz and Fa come back, and you guys have managed to give me a D6 roll.
eat or
Yeah, Rinkaz is fine. You guys were able to at least capture 5 of these blue crabs. However, there's like 1 or 2 that have been pierced with gunfire and don't look incredibly edible or tasty, but could potentially still be eaten. The others look fine for the most part. It looks like as they return, if you guys are returning, that their crab hunting adventure didn't go as planned.
Well, you tried. That's the important thing.
I
Did
got
you have
some-
fun?
Yeah, this is quite relaxing. These things couldn't kill me back. It was kind of a nice change of pace. And I found some other stuff that we could plant on the ship and eat.
Nice. Very nice. Is there any sea life in the ocean that's like swimming around that I notice?
Give me a perception check.
Can I assist?
Sure.
And Vidi, are you in the ocean with me?
Can be.
And VD's like probably close enough at the shore there that he's able to try and peer into the waters with you.
Jira can be like a helicopter, fly around and help you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You want to roll with advantage on that one, Aesop?
Oh, he's assisting me. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 13.
Because the way the setting sun catches and lights the interior of at least the surface area of the water here, you're able to see some like darkened, shifting groups of what you assume to be schools of fish somewhere underneath. You can at least see the form is a little amorphous, and you are able to see some speckles of smaller silhouettes. So you make the case that there's probably some type of fish underneath the water. So there is some sea life. Exactly what they are, you would be unsure without.
Can I try to like take to my wings and fly over and kind of like seagull dive down with my rapier and try to like skewer some for some
It's a
food?
pelican.
Sure.
Yeah.
Give me a check for that as you launch off.
How
Don't drown!
how about survival?
Sure. Perfect.
21.
Nice. With that 21, you hover over the water, flecking off an amount of water from your wings and drying as you continue to flap above. You continue watching this school of fish and wait to see the silhouette become more clear as they draw closer to the surface. And you do the bird thing where you like dive into the water, like thrusting your rapier. as you pull yourself back out, wriggling at the end of your rapier are, give me a D8 roll.
Ooh. Aw.
Ah.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh,
This
no.
is for me. You can get your own crabs.
There's 3 at the end of your rapier that are
Okay.
wriggling around. They are smaller fish, probably like palm sized, but they have these scintillating green scales and have a more fatty body to them that you feel like would be rather tasty.
I will take it to the shore where presumably we have these dead crabs, and I will start to make a fire.
Okay, how do you do that?
Well, I gather presumably some dry wood,
Okay.
but the game, and I have the tools with an alchemy kit to start a fire.
Oh, okay.
And that's the alchemy tool check that you can do is to start a fire. Oh, Vidi could just make a bonfire.
Aesop.
Aesop comes back with like a bundle of like dry wood and stuff, and Nvidi's already started the fire. Oh, I see. All right. Well, that works. That works.
You leave them nearby as leftovers to keep kindling the bonfire that Nvidi's started.
Yes, that works just fine, I think. And I'm thinking I'm gonna get one of them umbrella leaves from Clatter and wrap up them fish in the umbrella leaves and put them on the outside of the bonfire and cook them that way.
All right. The longer stalk of the palm tree leaf, you're able to do that thing where you like dig it into the sand, so it's leaning over the bonfire and cooking. Ringkaz and Fa, you guys are able to make use of Aesop's kindling that he found and get some longer, sharper, thin stalks of sticks and stab some of the crabs on the end of them, leaning them over the fire, and they begin to cook.
Can we stay out of the sun? It's bad for your skin.
Does she have skin? Does it count as skin? Can it get sunburned, I wonder?
Oh, I don't know.
Can you get sunburned, Kui? Do you know?
As far as I'm aware from the Rhaegar, this is my actual body now. I'm as human or as humanoid as the rest of you.
Oh, then yes, stay out of the sun.
She comes over towards you, Glace, and finds the shade underneath Clatter with you.
Glace is making this throne out of sand.
One last thing I want to do, Jason, just for shits and giggles, because I've never used it. I have an herbalism kit. I want to go around the edge of the jungle and find stuff that might be useful for like seasoning or herbs for the stuff before we sit down and eat all the shit that we hunted.
Okay. Give me another. What would that be? Like another.
It's herbalism, and I guess you would decide what the governing ability would be.
I mean, either nature or survival will work for me.
Okay, all right. So this is a +5, so that's pretty good. Oh, actually, it's +9 because it has a proficiency.
So 16 overall?
Yeah, 16 overall.
Yeah, with a 16, you are easily able to find a number of interesting flora that you could procure along the close to the tree line here without having to tread too far into the jungle.
I even have the mortar and pestle ready to like grind them all up and stuff. That's great.
You get all that ready as the food continues to cook.
Yeah. I'll kind of set up everything for everyone to come by and get some food.
Kui turns you Glace and says, before you were in the ship, did you live in a castle like this?
I didn't live. It was more like a. Was it a giant? Listen, I've had a few of these, Kui. Don't do what I do.
I understand.
It was a giant mansion full of people. It was beautiful and luxurious. It wasn't a castle, but I mean, it could have been if I wanted it to be, but you know.
I think the answer is no.
You come
Hey.
from royalty?
No, not like kings and queens royalty. I mean, nobility, yes, but not like super duper royalty.
Well, from what I heard, you're an honorary Rhaegar now, so
I
seems
guess I
pretty
am my
noble to
own
me.
royalty. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to sneak up over by them and subtly hand both Glace and Kui a drink.
Another drink. I'll take it, and I'll take Kui's. Thank you very much. You can have a sip, Kui.
Kui takes a sip.
Sweet.
What's
The taste,
God.
the taste is the best part, Kui. That you'll love that.
do you know? Do you have an idea on what this is, Rinkets?
We had some rum and some mixed alcohol, but we also had some like ale and beer, so you could take your pick on either of those.
We're on the beach. It's gotta be rum. There's coconuts all around.
How the
Rum it
coconut-
is. In a coconut, one of the coconuts I found.
Boom. Done.
Okay, we're on vacation. You can have a coconut and some rum. Just a little bit. Just a little baby bit, Kui.
Kui does take a sip, and she does
Don't
that
tell your
thing
father.
where you can clearly tell she's wincing a little bit from the power of the alcohol, but she powers through and wipes a hand at her lip. That's not bad, actually.
That a girl.
I don't know how you all drink so much of it, but not bad.
Yeah, you'll understand when you get older.
It fills in the scars from the past.
A span of time passes by as you all, having set everything up. Aesop, you spreading your spices and stuff. I'm still getting a little bit of reverb from somebody, I think.
She got
Oh, thank you, babe. Aesop, you cover the sizzling food with your spices and condiments, and after some time has passed, the conversation dies down, everyone goes quiet. Some of you let your eyes slowly close and either daydream or slip into a little bit of a nap. An hour or so passes, and jumping up, Sun Kong tells you all, "Ooh, that smells good. I think everything's about ready."
Oh. Good. I'm starving. Let's eat.
There is just enough for everyone.
Not a lot, but you know, we did what
Yeah.
we could.
It's pretty good, actually, as you guys have largely been having to subsist on more of a green meal on the ship and haven't had a ton of meat in your diet. So it's actually pretty good to break into the crab legs, to dive into some of the fish and snack on it. You almost wish there was more of it, but it is fulfilling, and it is a wonderful dinner/treat to capstone as the sun now fully shifted behind the mountain. The light still piercing over the top, so it's not dim light just yet, but it is shifting towards night. You can now begin to see the twinkle of some stars in the skies as some of the clouds have parted, and the sky has gone from a orangish blue to now more of a deeper, darker blue as night is slowly beginning to set in.
You ate all your food, Aesop. You look quite hungry. You could say you're eating for 22.
That's just awful. Just terrible. Never change, buddy. Never change. I do enjoy the dad jokes. You know, it's one of my favorite things to. Dad jokes are good, but they're better when you write them on a chalkboard and you can visually read the disgust of your own offspring as she reads and internalizes how terrible it is.
I do miss having her around, I'm not gonna lie.
I do too, but I'm glad she's considered to, you know, Kirbita seems like a nice place. Good place to settle down. Adventuring's dangerous, as Glosse's state of mind when we got here is evidence of. like ugly snoring is how like.
Kui does poke you, Rinkaz, and say, points over to Glosse, who's completely collapsed on the sand. As Clatter continues to just... Actually, now he's, like, crouched down and holding the palm trees over Glosse, motionless, just watching the sea. Kui turns and says, "You guys have Glosse now. She can take you wherever you need to. Technically."
Oh, wow.
It's true. Magic is powerful.
If there is a lazy day on the ship where we're just biding our time to get to the next destination, don't forget, we can technically go wherever we need, provided we give Glosse enough time to recover.
That is true. If she'll agree to it.
If she's willing, of course.
I mean, I look over at Glosse. I think someone needs a cake stand.
Oh goodness. I don't want to get too shit-faced before we talk to the giant god star outside of Jadra in a few days.
Oh, that's true.
But I suppose we still have 4-ish days until we get there, so...
You guys, having whet your appetite on some crab legs and some delicious fish, find as night approaches that there seems to be no apparent or immediate threat here, and having let your guard down, you find yourselves having a relaxing evening here. Did you guys want to spend the night here on these shores of this planet, or head back into the ship?
I could stay here, right?
Glosse's already sleeping. Like, she's
Just passed out.
done.
Under a mountain of empty cans.
That's right.
Thaw stacked on top of her.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's about time we sleep under the stars. We spend so much time sleeping up in the stars.
That's good, that's good.
True statement. I agree. It would be nice to stay here for at least one evening.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think about it this way. If we don't end up saving the universe, we could at least have one, good night before it all goes to hell anyways.
That reminds me. What are you, some kind of like god now or something, Nvidi? With that weird language that you spoke to get us out of the mind palace that those Twilight cultist wackos had us in?
I haven't quite figured that out yet, but it's possible.
Well, I'd say we have luck on our side then. I mean, I'm not a god. I'd love it. That would be great. It's pretty cool, right?
Yes, it was cool to be able to save everybody and shred every fiber of my being in the process.
Oh,
but,
it seemed to hurt.
Oh, it hurt.
But
a
you know,
lot.
it's like riding a bicycle. Not that I've ever done that.
But
you scrape your knee the first time, and then it heals up, and then next time it's easier, and you don't hurt yourself so much, right?
right. But to get philosophical, Doctor, didn't you save an entire race of people with
Well,
You're being
Not
so
yet.
smart and
Not
inventing a
yet.
cure.
I mean, the cure exists in theory, but a theory doesn't give speech to the speechless or wings to the flightless. I have to still make it a reality. I mean, I cured myself, but that doesn't cure my entire race. So still a lot of work left to do.
That's true.
Maybe not something I get done in this lifetime.
Well, you still got some left. You just got to keep trying.
Oh, yes, I have no intention of running off and dying anytime soon, or stopping. So, you are correct, Mr. Godsire.
Man. I mean, did we like an autograph? Do we say a prayer now? How does this work?
What? Well, you tell us. You had ascended to a god before, hadn't you?
Almost. I'll ascend soon. Just kind of give one of those like twitches, like nervous tick flashback from Ascension.
Well, when that happens, I'll know I'll be able to raise the dead, so...
I hope I can rise to the occasion.
Ho-ho! I just wish Hush were here to hear all of these awful, awful dad jokes.
How about we write a bunch of them down and save them for her?
Just give her a little booklet of jokes, of terrible jokes.
That's a good idea. Nvidia, let me see your book for a second.
It's not a composition book. You don't quite just write in it, but Aesop's got a tablet to write on, possibly.
That's correct. Yes, that is correct.
There you go.
That we could make it a joke book. I'm really good at those.
Oh, yes. I'll be sure to write down every zinger you come up with.
Awesome.
At this point, Glacé goes to itch her nose, and all the cans fall over, and she goes, "What is this? Bah?
What? Yeah?
Why am I in garbage?"
Oh,
It's just a dream.
because you're in a bad dream.
I'm awake.
Oh, well then it's probably the cans that I stacked on you because you passed out with your shoes on.
Oh, can't do that! You're lucky we didn't have a black marker.
Oh no.
We wouldn't, but you're up just in time for your keg stand. Come, dear girl.
No, I don't think I can do anymore. This is nice. This is a nice level right now. It's fine. We're fine.
Fading in and out of consciousness. I feel good.
Shh. Now put the tube in your mouth.
No.
Get the funnel.
No.
Ah,
She said no.
okay.
So what time of day is it now, Jason?
Well, if everyone has relaxed for the night, with you shuddering to consciousness again, Glacé, you guys essentially find you have all spent the evening sleeping here overnight. There was nothing that seemed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the buzzing of what sounds like insects above you. And you now see that the light from the nearby star, where once it was waning over on the other side of the bay here, over the mountaintops, is now coming in from behind you as a new morning is setting in.
Well, that was a nice evening.
I really think we could be doing something else with our time. I mean, this is nice, but I can't relax.
Well, maybe we can come back once we get all this squared away and taken care of.
Right. I mean, we have a name for this place. Did Recos tell you? Wild Nautica? Wild Nautica?
Yeah.
It's all right. Like a 7 out of 10. It's all right.
Hey, that's passing.
You
Wild
hear,
Nautica.
you hear old Guinea from underneath her witch's hat. Too much stress will put wrinkles on your face, Glossy.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Will they? Will that happen if I stress out? Is stress really going to cause
She
wrinkles? Do I have
pulls
wrinkles
her
on my face
witch's
right
hat off of her face. Look at mine!
It's medically proven, Glace.
Okay, alright, nobody talk to me. Just focus on the waves, Crosse. Nobody's here. You're on a nice planet. Nobody's gonna hurt you or your family. Oh my god, where is Lustria? Oh my god.
I still have some of the tranquilizer.
Don't you put that nonsense anywhere near me.
I was just saying it's an option. It'll knock you out clean till we get to Jadra.
I mean, we might defeat Twilight, age a few years, and then you might wake up. I mean, you saw what that stuff did to the Tarask.
Well, maybe I just need to get something else. Focus on something else. I'm gonna look for shells. Goodbye. Glasse will just spend her time doing that, looking for shells or something crazy.
I'll say goes to look for shells.
Alright, maybe we should just rest up a little bit longer and then pack up, guys.
Probably.
Sounds good to me.
How's Navy looking? Is he any better?
And
Yeah,
Beatty, why don't you give me some
I'm gonna help.
injury checks? Bruh?
Oh,
Injury
I
check
help.
time.
Can I
Uh,
help?
Classe,
Can you?
do you help Nvidi?
Yes,
You-
yes.
You begin your shell search and then quickly drop them, realizing that Nvidi is probably waking up from a somewhat cramped nap, and tried to help him with his injuries.
Let me help you stretch. Here.
First roll will be for torso, rank 1 injury.
Mm-hmm.
That is a
Nice.
15.
Okay, rank 1 torso injury is healed.
And then for the rank 2 arm, it's a 17.
Your arm still stings a little, and there's still signs of a bruise there, but it has largely healed. It's down to just 1 level now.
I feel like I actually have some strength in it now.
Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
You and Vidi, moving your robe out of the way, remove some of the bandaging on your torso to see that you now do have a little bit of permanent scarring on your chest. However, the ill effects of your injuries from uttering the word of the language primeval has left that region of your body.
So, did Nvidi ever tell us where he went? When he disappeared? Because I'll ask that. Like, where did you go, Nvidi? What happened exactly?
Hard to say what happened, but what did happen was I answered my tome like I was supposed to, but I didn't go where I was supposed to go. Or maybe I did go where I was supposed to go, but not where I thought I was going to go. I ended up, you remember where we used to meet Alderman?
Uh-huh.
Remember Alderman, right?
Yeah.
I went there, and he was there, and he told me that I've been communicating with him the whole time, and not the dragon author that I thought I was.
So he's
communicating with.
he's the author.
In a way, I guess you could say that.
See, I knew
But-
he was all right, that alderman.
Yeah, he's a lot better than what I gave him credit for.
Wait a minute, but okay. Where is he now?
That's a great question. I didn't get to resolve that.
Oh.
But he asked me to get rid of my tome, and he gave me his copy of my tome, which is this one right here. And it's been decoded. I just need to go through it. He also, like Aesop said, mentioned that I was his patron, which I haven't quite figured out yet, but he says it's right there in the tome when I'm ready to read it.
See, that was a terrible idea, Aesop. Why would we write jokes in someone else's book? It's not even his book.
It wasn't my idea. It was your idea.
Shh, he's telling a story.
Oh, sorry.
So we all know that a alderman is a gajillion years old, but we don't know how old exactly. But you are his patron. How long ago did you find this book?
Not too long ago from what I remember. I mean, Hush and I were in the same graduating class, I guess you could say. So, can't be too long ago. Aesop, I mean, it's only a couple of years, right?
That's
you
right.
Sent her off to school, so maybe a couple of years max.
And you never met a alderman before
I-
us?
I don't remember seeing him or talking to him ever. No.
Was he a human or a half elf? What if he's like you from the future or something like that? Stranger things have happened. You all told me about that Luke person.
True. And it could be. We didn't really have much time to talk. We both insisted that I get back to you guys because kind of left you hanging there with those crazies. But he did get me back like he promised, and I got you out of that tower.
Mm-hmm.
So he's good on his word. A lot more than what I gave him credit for.
Well, maybe some answers are in that tome of yours.
I just got a lot of reading to do.
Got like 4 days before we get to Jadra. Maybe you could look into it then.
Yeah. I'll have to, guess, meditate harder than I've ever meditated before.
Well, no reason to rush it, I suppose. You don't want to strain yourself. Who knows what else is in that book? Untold secrets that could warp your very mind and leave you broken and crushed. And we wouldn't want that.
World's best dad joke.
Like the world's best dad joke.
It's all possible. He just said I'd figure it out in there. So I've got more questions than answers, honestly.
Well, good luck on your reading. I'm gonna go back to collecting shells.
Thank you. I almost feel better. So I'm just glad we're all safe. Because that could have been really bad.
Aesop just starts gathering his things up.
You guys finish cleaning up. Fire has gone out at some point in the night. You guys just kick some sand over the bonfire. Or actually, NVIDIA, you can probably just make that shit vanish, can't you?
Poof. And concentration.
You guys do a little last minute cleaning up. You guys gather your things. Glossier comes back with a handful of brightly colored reflective seashells. And you guys head back to the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys all touching the crystal communicator, heading back over to the geodesic ship that floats silently not too far away, touch and find yourselves back within the halls of your familiar ship once again.
Is anything different?
It's quiet. Nothing seems different.
No monsters on the ship? No invaders?
Glace! We can't keep doing this every time we go to a new place, or an old place, or any place. You're gonna worry yourself to death, old Ganny's right.
Kui says, the arcane man did work to put some extra defenses with some of his plethora of magic items he was able to pull out of what seems to be like just a pocket of air, almost. But he said that the extra defenses should ensure that it would be incredibly difficult for anything else to break in here.
Okay.
Good enough for me. Let's set a course for Jadra.
All right, back to business, she says, and she begins to head back up to the Spelljammer helm.
Oh, wait, Kui,
Yeah, she says.
do you know how to cast Scry?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Sorry.
Is there a way on this is there like a records of transmissions that we've received that I can look at that transmission that I got from my sister?
There is not a record of transmissions per se. There's no log or anything. However, I will paste it to you because your character would just naturally remember
Okie dokie.
something as important as that, at least.
What a nice guy. You look very smart today, by the way.
Thanks. Or was that to Glosse?
That was to you, boss.
Oh.
Boss, I always look smart, but you look very smart today,
Oh,
Jay. So
Today you look smart, buddy.
Got giant smarts, just bountiful and
look at all your smarts. Look at 'em.
That big brain. Glosse is always smart. Well, they're here somewhere, Glosse. Hang on, I'll find them. Is there anything in particular that you guys would like to do as you set course for Jadra?
Asked old Gandy if she knows how to. Hey, do you know how to cast Scry?
I wish I did. That would be an interesting thing to have, to keep an eye on certain individuals. But no.
Dang.
Why don't you guys stop by a shop somewhere?
Hey, there's an idea.
next stop is Jadra.
Oh, I bet they could do it.
Probably.
We're going to the person like divining anyways, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Chemo will show NVD to the recovery pool. Go have a schwitz. Come on.
Okay.
It's a Jewish ninja. Oi.
Hey, Chemo, if you ever want to spar or whatever, I can help you a little bit.
Chemo laughs and puts a hand on your back and you're flying across the room.
As a
I'll be a
as a-
sparring partner.
Oh,
was about-
oh. What are you saying?
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So let me move you guys over to the map. So here you are via the map. You guys are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days out from the Celestial Cradle and Jadra itself, which you have learned that the Jadra star, despite brightly glowing like an actual burning star, is in fact a living being, a Golinda, or Gon for short, who will supposedly answer your questions. Whatever interesting questions you have. They like to talk.
It just takes them a very long time, apparently.
It just takes them quite a while to do so.
If they're sparring, Aesop is crafting 2 more potions.
Sure.
Well, one's a success, one is a critical failure, which is still almost a success, but is not. That's a giant bummer, though.
Unless anyone wants to do anything else of particular note, you guys can move the ship a space.
Somebody do it. If I try to do it, someone will do it as soon as I try to do it.
Taking notes.
Yeah. Oh, I missed.
Oh, man. Like
A
zoink.
24-hour period passes. And Vidi, please give me a roll to recover from your injuries.
Dr. Glacé is on the spot.
Dr. Glacé. This is for rank 1 right arm injury. Dr. Glacé's help. We get a 14.
Wow.
Wow.
Finally,
Holy shit.
after nearly a full week of recovery, of just doing your best to sit down, relax, and let time heal your wounds, you find, shifting your elbow and arm around, that your arm, the last bit of your body that was in pain from this bodily extension and tearing of the fabric of yourself from teleporting everyone, is now healed, and you are back to full health.
Did it.
Good as new.
Fell off the bike, you skinned your knee, and you're back in action.
Anything on this day that you guys would like to do?
2 more potions.
Hashtag inspo.
Okay, I'm gonna. If Glacé's inspiring me for one, I'm gonna do the big potion, the big
Okay.
300 gold one, and I'm also gonna spend an inspiration on it, just because I don't want to fuck this one up.
Sure.
If you call MVD over to help you, he could give you a what's it called? Plus 1d4 on
Guidance.
guidance. Thank you.
Guidance? Sure. Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking do this. All right. Okay, I got it. Thanks, though, guys. If Nvidi's still around, I'll try to make another small potion, and I wouldn't mind an inspiration for that.
Hashtag inspo.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, technically, it's just it's a cantrip I have that's a d4 extra on concentration. So
Crazy.
Not bad. Okay, I think Aesop's fully stocked on potions, so I'll stop making potions as we go. Also, I spent like 1,600 gold over the past 3 days, so I better slow down anyway.
Do you need gold? Because
Oh no, I think I'm fully stocked. I just need to be able to, poke someone with the old syringe in case they go down for the count.
thanks for that, by the way.
Oh yes. More where that came from now. Anyway, that's all for Aesop.
Okay. Anybody else on this second day of this session's travel?
Yeah. Faw's gonna spend some time in the Tinker Shop.
Sure.
Gonna try and roll up an advanced experimentation.
I'd like to
Ooh.
assist Fa.
Oh.
Take this far.
Oh. Tinker tools. Tinker tool. Oh boy. D10. Yeah, sweet. So got a 20 on the first one, which is a success.
Nice.
D100.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give me a D100 roll.
27.
All right. Crafting, tinkering.
Dang it.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Oh, yeah. Earrings of communication.
Oh.
Hey, well,
Hang Hang on just a second, though. Let's. Is this in alphabetical order? Yeah, let's take a look here.
That would be
Earrings
really
of
good.
communication.
It's the things Cos made.
You are able to craft earrings of communication. However, Fa, previously that was like a end of campaign thing that Cos was able to do. Of course, he's no longer with you, so now you have someone who knows how to craft them. On top of that, you have made an additional 8 earrings.
Woo.
Oh,
Very nice.
I actually don't think that's bad, because like now we can like give them to random extraneous people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
nice. Oh. Wait. I'm looking at my list, and it looks like I already have that. I have Cos's design. Did somebody have that written down? or
Oh
something?
yeah. When Fa first went into the Tinker Lab, Jason, remember you said Cos's design was still there. Does that mean he re-rolls, or does he just get the 8?
Do you remember what I mentioned when you found those blueprints?
I just wrote it in the notes as Cos's design. I think that you said that I could make them, but I didn't have any more than what we already had, unless I tinkered more.
So he already knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, I will allow you to either now you like completely know it because you've tinkered more. You could craft an additional 8 if you'd like, but if you want, I'll allow you to re-roll if you'd rather try to get something else.
I'll re-roll because.
Okay.
It's the same one.
You are
Okay. Whew.
almost dead set on making earrings. So instead of earrings, you are going to make exceptional ammunition.
Oh fuck.
Right, sweet. Let's make some, I guess, pistol ammunition. Split it between me and Ringcast.
Let's see here. Let me take a look. Craft ammunition. Advanced. So this is magical. It is +2 to the damage. You are choosing for it to be, as you mentioned, like the ball bearings, so you can fire them out of your weapons. Also, let's see. When ammo is crafted, roll 2d4 and compare the results to the table below, if you wouldn't mind, to see what type you craft.
Rincast is holding Aesop's Cos's pattern upside down. No, not now. See, what you want to do here is you want to make bullets.
You finish crafting these small steel bearings, Fa, and as you finish, they have this tinged green glow to them. These are acid rounds.
That's the only ammo I ever made that wasn't regular, was acid rounds as well. See, now, how come yours are better than mine? What did you... All because of my teaching and years of firing guns. Yes, you're a wonderful student.
Yeah.
How the hell did you make better? What the hell?
It's just, like, if you make them small, then you gotta make them go fast.
See, I've been doing it wrong all along.
How many?
That is also a good question. Hang on just a second.
You have a pistol, right, Rikas?
You make 5.
5. Never mind.
Go for it. You keep them.
Yeah. I was gonna split it if I had, like, any more than 5, but 5 is not enough. Sweet. Pistol round.
However,
Yeah.
you now know that. You now know how to craft that particular ammunition. and are able to craft it again over the next couple days or hours, depending on how much you want to work in a day, if you wanted to craft more. So you only created 5, but you can continue to yield more of their days. Looks like it's just going to be more travel till you guys hit Jadra anyway.
I mean, I don't mind assisting to help you with that if you want. I mean, honestly, my scopes are pretty much set until we leave Jadra.
Sure. Yeah. But now, actually, I'm remembering that I could make more of these ear communicators, and maybe that wouldn't be a bad thing to have. I'll go ahead and make 3 more of those. Do I need to craft those individually? So 3 more rounds of crafting to do the earpieces? Or...
Nope. When you craft them, you can craft up to 8 in a single crafting session because they're small and pretty easy, almost similar to the bullets where you yield a certain number of them. So you can go ahead and roll. You know this already. I believe they're on the advanced table, but you know the recipe based on what Kaz had wrote down, so it's a DC 13.
Okay. I think that looks good. 13.
Oh, just matched. Okay, yes, you are able to craft 3 more.
Nice.
Right. Neato. Let's just do 1 more to make some more bullets, and that'll be me for the day.
You can do 1 more for some bullets. You will just have to roll a Constitution save to make sure that you don't end up exhausted from staying up the entire 24 hours doing all this.
Oh. Okay, never mind then. I'll wait on the bullets.
Okay. You spend the last 8 hours of the day. So you basically woke up, crafted all day, and then are just heading back to bed now.
Yeah.
Anybody else for this day?
Good to go.
Okay. Go ahead and move the Nimbus, the geodesic ship, ahead a space. You guys wake up. It is a new day. You are 3 days out from the Celestial Cradle and within it, Jadra. What would you like to do?
I'll aid anyone who is doing anything.
I'm gonna put my sand up in my room with all my autograph pictures from all the awesome people we met.
Sure.
Nice.
Sand from a beachy resort world shore. Wild Nautica.
I'm also gonna switch the scope on my hunting rifle with the glass one that I made. I had my back. The one that doubles the range on it,
Sure.
as opposed to giving me +1 to hit. So now I can use my hunting rifle with the sniping gem and all the other awesome crap combined, and the light and everything for long range, and I'll just keep my revolver for close range.
You spend the day breaking down your weapons, tending to them, keeping them clean, putting them back together, and rearranging some of the mods that you have on this one to give you some extended sight. Anything else from anybody?
Nope.
I'm good.
Fa, you want to craft more ammunition? It'll be a DC 13. You'll yield another 5. However, each time you do this, it's a random type.
Oh, okay.
If you succeed.
It's kind of fun.
Inspired.
Tiger tools. 23. Sounds
You
good.
easily craft them. Go ahead and give me a 2d6 roll, please.
Oh,
Or
2D4.
I'm sorry, 2d4.
2D4. Whoop. 8.
You craft heavy bludgeoning ammo, 5 pieces. Heavy bludgeoning ammo replaces the damage type with bludgeoning and adds an extra 1d4 damage, but shoots at half the distance.
Ooh.
Nice.
Raincast, you want those?
I
can't make my distance shorter, otherwise I'm just gonna be melee range.
Fa shows you a number of balls that look considerably larger than the standard ammunition you're used to firing. They look weighty and probably would lose some of their trajectory and arc and fall faster. However, they look like they would deal some considerable more damage than the standard ammunition.
If I put them in my shotgun, they're only gonna go 2.5 feet to scatter.
You gotta really just put it right in their temple and pull the trigger.
Also, this is Fa crafting the exceptional ammunition, so just keep in mind that they are also +2 and magical.
I would hold on to him just to be safe in case you really, really need to head.
I got the acid rounds already. That's why I'm giving you the option.
That's true.
Just put them in your bag.
All right. How many?
5. Anything else, Fa, Chemo, and VD? Class A?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, Vini wants to pick up where he left off reading about Alderman being in somebody of influence at Sigil as a peacekeeper double agent. Continue
Oh.
reading on the tome.
Okay. You spend some time in your room, cracking open your book, and thumbing back through your book, finding where you previously left off. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find the spot where I had the text for you. Hang on just a second. Okay. Previously, the book had mentioned that Alderman was working in Sigil, finding that there seemed to be nefarious means with this secretive group known as the Peacekeepers, and hoping to find out exactly what they were up to, working with them as a double agent. As you pick up where you left off, his scribbled notes detail one such operation working with the 10th Pit where things went awry. He was dealt a fatal blow and found himself on the edge of death. He remembers pulling himself back to his small shack set in one of the wards where he had all of these documents and pieces of notes from the Peacekeepers where he had been doing his investigation, closing the door, blood leaking out from his body as he collapsed on the ground, wanting to continue to persevere and find out more about what this group was up to. He found himself in an interesting place. It seemed foolish for him to, but in that desperate moment, he found himself praying. Not praying to any particular god or any particular being, but just that anyone or anything would come along and help to save him so that he could finish what he started. He knew the reason of it being foolish was that no god would dare to enter Sigil out of fear for the lady's wrath, so he began to accept his fate. However, just as his vision began to blur and he thought he was reaching the end, out of nowhere, a young man had appeared beside him. His voice was kind and gentle, his features soft and calming. This gentleman, this young man, had mentioned how lonely he was. And Alderman writes that he could already tell, simply by the expression on his face, there was a deep sadness in the figure. The young man said that he had the power to save his life. But in return, he asked that Alderman would stay by his side, befriending him, and at the same time working to help protect him from the lady's discerning eyes. Alderman scribbles in notes here that at this point he's not sure if this was a god or some type of celestial being. He doesn't know. All he knows is that the young man had healed him. More so than that, as he came to find out, that the young man did more than just heal his body. He made it so that Alderman could never die from old age.
Oh.
After entering into this pact with this young man, Alderman found that he had been poised to remain eternal as the young man's partner. That is what you get from this day's worth of reading material.
Well,
So, if you guys want, if no one else wants to do anything, let's move that Nimbus another space. Yoink. It is the dawn of a new day. What would you guys like to do?
Before we get there, I want to go to the meditation pool,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to do it so that I get the benefit as we're going to Jadra to talk to the thing. So you let me know when that if it's today or tomorrow.
That's fine. I just rule it like, go to the meditation pool, get your bonus. It stays with you until you use it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll go now.
Yeah, that way we're not having to like play the let's wait until the hours before we jump off type of thing. We'll just assume that you meditate before landing.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it in the journal and I don't see it.
Hang on just a second here. Actually, I don't have those pages on here. If you will just give me a D12 roll, I will let you know what your benefit is. I think I handed it out as the PDF once.
An 11.
With an 11, let me just shrink this here because it's gigantic. Let's go down to Divine Training. When you next take radiant or necrotic damage, you have resistance to the triggering damage type till the start of your turn.
Cool. Okay. Necrotic's pretty common.
So just keep that in mind. You keep that with you until it triggers, essentially.
Oh, cool.
You can always meditate again to replace it with something else, and that will stay with you. So you can keep that or meditate again, but if you're fine with that, then that sticks with you.
Cool. I'm
Anybody
writing
else?
that down.
Continue reading,
Sure.
please.
And Vidi, you continue this day perusing through the notes, and it takes you a full day to try and put together the various scrawlings of Alderman in your now original tome. As you continue reading, you find that over the coming days, Alderman having healed and continuing to carry on somewhat with the peacekeepers, but also more now pulled towards the curiosity of this young man that has begun to stay with him. Alderman finds himself, over days, over weeks, asking the man many questions. And the young man, after asking for him to befriend him so that he would no longer be alone, seemed happy to oblige. He told him essentially everything that he knew. He mentioned that he was unsure of what exactly he was, but he relayed that as he learned more about himself as the days wane on, that he grew more and more powerful each day. He mentions that over time, the young man showed him exceptional powers, which were awesome and vast. But Alderman also notes a bit worrying at the same time. Alderman notes here that if he was indeed a burgeoning god, there was no doubt the lady would eventually sniff him out and tear him asunder. So, Alderman began to work together, along with the young man, to strategize. Considering the vastness of his power, a large majority of which seemed related to positive powers, at least from what he had seen, he was able to help the young man realize an arcane power within himself, that as his power begins to plateau, as he reaches that danger point of attracting too much attention. He would use his own arcane, perhaps even divine abilities, the alderman mentions he's not sure, to essentially reboot himself. Essentially being reborn again, as a babe, under Alderman's watchful eye. Alderman used this young man to his advantage. With his own eternal life, he continued to keep a prying eye on the peacekeepers, and over several reboots worked with this being to grow and nurture. And as the young man continued to grow in these various lives, he would help share him, fill him in on all of the knowledge that he forgot in the previous ones. And that's what you get for this day. If no one wants to do anything else, you guys can move the ship up ahead again. Whoop. You guys are 1 day out from Jadra. Anything specific you'd like to do?
Can I meditation pools and read in the same day?
Sure. You lounge in the meditation pool and continue to read. It's at this point in the notes that this is where Alderman recounts that it was at this point that he had decided to keep the journal, filling you in on the details previously. He also wanted to scrawl a number of notes as almost a catalog or journal of the multiple lives of this being he had connected with, so that he could not only remind himself, considering his eternity, but also this being that was with him, so that he could help fill them in on all of the previous lives that had taken place before. There are many notes here in VD, and it takes you nearly the full day. These are less categorized and linear than the story previously. It's almost more of like entries of a live and the important notes that each one took. Alderman mentions that the young gentleman going through the reboots through his various lives, essentially reincarnating himself, took many forms, and their powers were vast. He mentions how not all of them were restricted to male or female. Sometimes they were tall, short. He said in some lives, the being that he was with was kind and benevolent. In others, vengeful and full of wrath. Each one different, but with each new rebirth an opportunity to start a new chapter. You continue reading through various lives in VD, as this is your day's worth. Anybody else for this last day before you guys reach Jadra?
Telling you, in VD, you're the avatar. You're
Aang.
You guys spoil me. Can I D12 on that pool, or?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
hop in with me, buddy. Making some crow soup over here.
Gross.
Want some elf spice?
Elf spice, yes.
And the sound
12.
sounds like chicken canoodle.
Ooh, chicken canoodle.
Keep this in mind. When you next expend a first level spell slot to cast a spell, it takes effect as if cast using a second level spell slot.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Does not apply to warlocks.
I don't think it unfortunately works for you.
Okay.
Oh no, that's not as awesome.
But you can try again tomorrow. if
Tomorrow,
you'd like.
yeah.
So if nothing else, you guys can move to Jadra if you'd like.
All right. As we go in, we should hail. I forget her name, Jason, but the queen. elf lady and let her know that we're ready to call in that
Yes.
favor.
Queen.
Yes.
Let's move back over here. Do I have her here? Hang on just a second. I don't think you guys have actually ever called her.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I only talked to her in person that one time where she gave
Yeah.
us all the hypothetical what will we do's.
Yeah, that's right.
As you guys are beginning your approach of the Jadra star, or what you assumed was a star for some amount of time, appearing on the screen is perennial
here.
abloom.
Oh yeah, she gave us a bunch of moral questions, and we thought it was a test, but I think she was just I think we assumed it was more serious than it was.
Abloom looks to all of you and says, "Tycoons, there is almost a ethereal echo to her voice. How can I help you?"
We've come to call in the reward that we were promised. We would like to speak with the Gond.
Ah, yes. The time has come, and there is still a number of days before you would all need to meet for the consortium convene. I would like to point out a few things of note to you all as some time has passed. The Gonds love to prattle on with their songs, though they carry a vast amount of information. You are free to ask as many questions as you would like in a single session, she says, using air quotes. Just understand that Agon's dealings with smaller affair, such as humanoids like ourselves, is not frequently allowed. They will be happy, the Gon will be happy to answer your questions, but it is likely that it will be some time before it will allow you to come to it and ask them again.
We understand that this is a extreme privilege, so we are planning to make the most of it. Yes.
My initial idea previously was to have Ilanalu escort you to speak with Gon. However, she has returned back to the celestial cradle. To speak with the Gon is to speak through song. I believe you have a bard in your party.
Hi, it's me.
We have
Don't
the
we
bard.
ever? The Bard, yes.
Then you shall be the voice that will translate the Gon's song to the party.
Ooh.
The rest of you will be required to make sure that as the hours draw on, this bard gets enough sustenance to continue.
Oh,
Confusion.
don't worry. Don't worry about that. Aesop pulls out his syringe.
No, not Aesop. Everyone else pamper me.
Also keep in mind, as I mentioned, that the Gon loves to speak. And in song, they live their lives on such a large scale at a slower pace than most of us smaller, tinier groundlings. You can ask it any question you desire. Just be warned that an answer could take days.
Given that, taking that into consideration, should we prioritize our questions? Ask the most important ones first, or are they just going to answer them however they feel?
There is no particular difference between any questions to the Gon.
I see.
They are chatterboxes, and thus even asking them about the recent weather or going-ons that they have seen throughout wild space could take days. Just as
Okay.
much as a more vital question.
So don't ask her how she's doing. Just get to business. Gotcha.
Oh, Rinkaz, but
You have 10 days left.
that's right.
I would, as you have mentioned, prioritize what you feel to be the most vital and pertinent of your trivia to ask of the gone.
All right.
And
Yes or no
then-
questions.
Be prepared to take a seat and wait for the answer. If the gone continues to speaking for too long, just do not forget that it is only a 10-day away before a meeting is to take place.
Huh. Yeah, that's the number one glosse for sure. That's like the first thing that Aesop wants to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, we still have to have a day or two to go to Udu.
Yeah. I mean, if they answer the questions in time, we'll go to Udu. If not, let's just teleport from here with the
That's true.
device they gave us.
Very well. A wise choice, though you may want to save some days if you have other important preparations to make. Just keep that in mind. However, all of them will still be waiting for you after our convening. Was there anything else that you require from me?
I don't believe so. And I look to the rest of the group.
They mumble under my breath, I think. And Petey wants your number. No, not at all.
Your audience has been granted with the gone. It awaits you for whenever you should approach. Simply fly your ship close enough until you hear the ethereal sounds of the gone singing its tunes. From there, ask away.
Very well. Very well. Thank you for your time, Bloom.
I look forward to speaking with you all soon.
Yes.
And with that, she departs from the screen.
Okay. All right. So yes, how to kill a Witchlight Marauder, number 1 on the list. Number 2, I agree. Definitely we should ask about the Vespers.
How to get rid of the Vespers?
Maybe we should split that question up. Maybe we should ask what the origin of the Vespers actually is.
Okay. I'm writing this down.
We could sneak a few yes or no questions in there. I mean, honestly, I'm being honest with that. If we can get anything else out of this in a pertinent amount of time.
Something tells me that if we ask it a yes or no question, we're going to get a very long-winded ballad that begins with, well, it depends.
Yeah, she said he's a gas bag.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
I think the third most pertinent thing should be an optimal strategy to dispatch the Dark Trine.
That's good.
Worst case scenario, they'll just say use a Witchlight Marauder, but anything other than that is more information than we have right now.
What do you think? I mean, the Vespers seem to be enemies of everyone. What if there's a way to get the Dark Trine against the Vespers? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that could be the fourth question. Can the Dark Trine be turned against the Vespers?
Oh, that's a yes or no.
Oh, all right then.
Great.
I mean, to us it is.
Yeah, to us it is, yes.
Right.
But
Also,
hey,
keep in mind, just FYI, as a DM to players, that with Glosse's ability to teleport, you guys could finish a question with a gone, teleport to a location, do the things you need to do, teleport back and ask another. You don't necessarily have to fly the ship there.
oh, Yeah, we could just fucking teleport to Udu and do whatever we need to do there and then come back. Perfect. Yeah.
It's up to you. I'm just pointing that out. Glace has an incredibly powerful tool in your arsenal now.
Glace is strong.
I don't know, I just got sick of waiting, so I learned the spell. Haven't used it yet. Don't know how successful it is, but we'll see. Can't be as bad as portals.
I agree. It can't be as bad as portals. Okay, so we have 4 major points of questioning, and then I think it's only fair that we ended out with what do acid pigeons eat.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I feel like we have to throw one goofball thing in there, otherwise we wouldn't be the Wild Tycoons. Am I right or am I right?
I agree.
Fall wipes away a tear. Hey, Sal.
I know how to have fun. I'm fun.
You are.
Remember when I shot a lightning bolt at the alchemy? Oh, jeez.
You got a weird definition of fun, Aesop.
I thought it was fun at the time. We were very drunk. All right. Is that everything? Do we have anything else that needs to be asked?
I mean, there's tons of stuff going on with Halcyon that we are still unsure about, but meh. I don't know if it's super important at the moment.
Nothing that we couldn't figure out on our own, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys got your questioning locked down.
Sounds that way.
Where the hell is Chemo on here? Where did he?
He's in the pool.
Oh, okay.
I'm Chemo.
You're in the pool? I don't see you over there.
I moved him back.
He moved.
Oh, thank you. Let's see, Glace, Rinkaz. Is this everybody? Yeah, this is everybody.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on how long this takes, I'm not assuming you all stay on the exterior of the ship to do these communications.
Oh, excuse me.
But let me find the spot here and move it over. Here we are. Hang on just a second. You guys all watching the astrolabe as it shows you approaching the sun, Jadra itself, that within it houses Jadra Capital. As you guys approach, Kuial lets you know that she has reached a safe, close proximity with it for you guys to teleport onto the outside. You guys, all touching the crystal communicator, find yourselves on the exterior of your ship. A bright, beautiful green light pervades the atmosphere around you as you peer out from your ship and to the sun of Jadra, what you believe to be the Gone itself. As soon as you reach the exterior, there is something you've never realized before as you headed to Jadra multiple times, that on the outside of the ship now, out from within the extraplanar nature of the interior of the ship and wild space here next to the sun of Jadra, you now hear the haunting ethereal sounds of music shifting through the air. You would assume that things would be much warmer, considering that Jadra, at least for all intents and purposes, seems to be a sun. And it is certainly bright and a little difficult to look at. However, the light is not warm in a traditional way, but there is a warmth that fills you with a certain radiance and energy instead of heat.
Now that we're outside, I want to take out my chalkboard and tap Glace on the shoulder And I'm going to write down, I have one last question. Ask it where Radriar is.
Should that be the last one after? Or
Do it before
acid? Okay.
before the acid pigeon one.
I'll write that down. Where is Radriar?
Yeah.
That's me. We know.
Where is Radriar? Got it.
And I erase it from the chalkboard.
I'll say, are you using your leer to communicate with the Gone?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'll
So,
start off with the strum.
you begin to strum, knowing that to speak with the Gone is to speak through song. So, using your artistic musical talents, what is the first question via song that you would like to ask this planet-sized sun being in front of you?
The first question is, how can we destroy the Witchlight Marauder?
Okay. Hang on just a second here.
It's a metal song.
Okay.
Destroy them.
My electrically.
As you finish strumming this lyrical question, this beautiful, haunting but beautiful music that fills the air slowly begins to fade, and replacing it is something else, something beautiful, something that sounds old, like a hymn that fills the airs around you. Glacé, you feel a connection through your music. It's slow and you have to focus, but you begin to put together that this planet-sized being, this creature, is beginning to communicate with you. As you begin to listen to the answer, Glacé, one day passes.
Oh, fuck.
Nice. Okay.
2 days pass.
Oh my god.
3 days pass. Glacé, as the third day begins to wane, you, exhausted from having to just essentially stand out here, only taking short breaks to quickly throw food into your mouth or drink, you are able to finally break your focus as the music wanes just a bit, as you're able to gather that the Gone is finishing its last note for this particular answer. The Gone tells you that it remembers songs from others like itself, of the Marauders and the dangers that they pose. It wistfully goes on for some time, telling you about how it thought that those old legends of these creatures had died out, that it was surprised to hear that there were more of them. It tells you that from the songs that it heard, even a Witchlight Marauder of some extraordinary size would have little to stand up to against what it calls a scale of Gone. It tells you that Gones are protectors of beings, and their music can both soothe, heal, and repel evil. It tells you that a scale of Gone are 8 Gone harmonizing in a group with close proximity.
Ooh.
It tells you that although it knows of no such Gone, that if you were to bring a scale together, and if this Witchlight Marauder was to be anywhere close to their vicinity, their planetary scale harmonizing would rip the fabric of the being of the Witchlight Marauder itself, tearing it apart.
But they don't know where 8 Gones could come together.
On the last day, it tells you that if you were to attempt this, first the scale would need to be put together. These 8 Gone would need to be found. The Gone mentions to you, interestingly, that it has lost contact with others of its kind, being trapped in its cage. The last thing that it mentions to you as the song finally begins to die out somewhat is that your group should seek someone familiar with the bodies of Wyld space to help search them out.
Oh, the observatory. Okay, that's good. That's an answer. That's something. We had nothing, and now we have something.
So, you guys now have 7 days left. Take your notes, Glace. Glace nearly collapses as you all pop out at the end of the 3rd day, and she relays this information to you all.
Aesop just takes a syringe of adrenaline and like, we got 7 more days to go, let's do it!
This is your grandest performance yet.
What other bard could handle a 10-day-long, a week-long performance without stopping? It's got to be a Twixt record.
Oh, you're right.
This is like that festival they have on Jadra. The one out in the out in the wilds where they listen to music. Was it Burning Elf or something?
Burning Elf. Boo.
So, the second question, can we ask? Am I able to ask the second question?
The Gone's not going anywhere. It has been 3 days for you all, but from everything that you've been told, Glace, the perception of time to a Gone, it has probably just been chatting to you for a few hours.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I feel sick.
Look at me, look at me, look at me. Question 2.
2.
2.
Oh, we're only on question 2.
Question 2.
All right, let me get my notes. I take out take out my instrument and I do a little strum again. And I ask in song, what is the origin of the Vespers?
The eerie, beautiful song picks up again. Once again, Glace, you feel this communication between you and the Gone. 1 day passes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Whoa, no way. Wow.
2 days pass.
That is the thesis.
With 5 days left, you receive your answer, Glace. What are the Vespers?
Oh no! That's the worst possible way they could have answered. There's no answer worse than that.
Great. Right. Well, I'm slightly agitated. No, I'm really agitated, so I'm not gonna ask it what acids listen to me. I can't talk because I'm so tired. Third question we had. Oh, do you think it even knows what the Dark Trine is? The Dark Star Trine?
Dark Trine is not a mysterious, shadowy, otherworld god cult. They're just slavers. I'm sure. Maybe phrase. Don't phrase it like the Vespers. Phrase it like, can the Dark Trine be turned against a cult that seeks to remove everything from existence?
The Twilight. That's simple.
The Twilight. Yes! The Twilight, yes. Describe that.
Okay. So the question is...
Mm-hmm.
What's the question, Aesop?
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, snap out of it. I talon smack her with my strong hand.
Dare!
Yeah, after you finish this, you could beat me up all you want. Can the Dark Trine be turned against the Twilight, a concept of removing everything from the universe?
I angrily strum and ask that question in song.
Twilight comes.
You ask this question to the Gone. Again, as before, a massive reverberating sound echoes through your ears. Each of those of you who are outside on the surface of the geodesic ship along Glace feel your feet shake as the glass steel panels tremble underneath you. A cosmic orchestra rings out again. The slow singing choir in an unintelligible language swims around you. Glace, the Gone, begins to communicate with you again. 1 day passes. 2 days pass. 3 days pass. You're beginning to worry as the 4th day passes, with 1 day left to spare when it finishes its answer. It tells you that it has seen the workings of the Dark Trine, a forged union between 3 groups. They have evil in their hearts, and the Gone, would that it would have them soothed of that evil. However, although it has tried its best to do its work on those of the Trine on the surface of the celestial cradle that surrounds it, it knows that the Dark Trine is very mobile, and trapped in its cage, it can do very little against them. As per their efficiency in stopping this Twilight, the Gone, at least as much as you can tell, takes some pause, almost trying to consider exactly what you're asking when you say Twilight. As the final day draws to a close, it says that despite their numbers, the Dark Trine are all mortal beings, and that when Twilight does come, it will be inevitable. As so with this age as it was in previous ages.
Oh, I don't like that implication. I'm not a fan of that implication. That's a bad implication.
This seems real doom and gloomy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's something we haven't heard before.
I mean, we can just go back to the beach for a while and just hang out.
Honestly, if we lose, we should all just go back to the beach and wait it out, you know? Be pretty swell.
Gloss,
Anyway.
you finish and wipe the sweat from your brow. You reconvene with the others with one day left.
We could have Glace rest up, and we could go to Udu. None of the answers they've given us have been shorter than 2 days. I don't think we'd get anything from asking them about Raedriar at this point.
We could try.
What do you think, Rinkaz? I know Udu is very important to you.
I mean, it probably wouldn't take that long. If you guys are okay with it, then yes. If not, we can wait till after.
You're talking about Udu waiting till after.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't want to resurrect him into a world where it's just gonna get, ganked by Twilight anyway.
True. All right then. Unless there's any objections, perhaps the last question is Raedriar's location, and not the acid pigeon thing, although part of me's really curious now.
So we were locked in on this acid pigeon.
We only got 1 day left, though.
Yeah, right. Fine.
Come on, don't you want to get Kui's dad back?
I want to unlock the mysteries of the universe, but sure, let's go find Kui's dad.
Yeah.
Jason, can I make a nature check on acid pigeons?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a 23.
You would probably need a physical one to study the
Damn!
biology of in person. However, considering that a large amount of its biology, the fluids that make up its body, is made of acid, you surmise that the acid pigeon can probably eat whatever the hell it wants.
Listen, I didn't want to say this, but I've known the entire time what acid pigeons eat. They scrape the rust off of metal with their beaks and digest it, which fuels their acidic blood. It's very simple, you see. Simple science. I have a feeling that I could fool everyone with that, but Fa probably.
I was going to say Fa's not buying it, but she won't say anything.
That makes sense. Why were they eating the people?
Because they're not rusty. Right, Aesop?
That's right.
Who says it weren't?
Why don't we just train some of them and send them at Twilight?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
Yeah, well, Twilight with acid pigeons. That's clearly the solution.
No. Glace, you can do it. Just one more song.
This one is dedicated to Kui. Bring.
She breaks out her acoustic guitar for this one.
Yeah.
What is your question, Glace?
Where is Raedriar Tyrell?
Oh, good use of last name.
Hours.
Sorry, I was gonna say it takes him like 2 hours to answer which Raedriar.
Over a number of hours, the Gon says that it has been a while since it has been as curious and as entertained with your group for some time, and thus it will understandably try to curtail the larger amount of details for this answer.
It takes him 2 days to say this.
Episode of The Office where Kevin's just like, no need words.
Less word, just good.
After 18 hours of song, Glace, the Gon finishes answering your question by telling you everywhere.
I slowly turn to the group and I answer them everywhere. And then I softly put myself on the ground and I go to sleep.
She did good. Let's have everyone round of applause for. All right. I think we all need to take some rest, and I think we should all collectively decide what to do about the Marauders. I think I know what my choice is. But I think everyone should have an opinion on it.
You guys have 6 hours left to do as you please.
I sleep.
Yeah.
You bid farewell to the gone. There is a soothing note, Glace. It doesn't communicate any type of language that fills your mind, but you get the sense that it is appreciative to have had the opportunity to converse. And with that, you all take your leave using the crystal communicator to leave the exterior of the ship and find yourselves teleported back within the interior.
I would assume that Clatter is holding Glacé's body and just heads to her room.
Yeah.
It's just like holding her by one leg.
Like, so you didn't stay awake the entire time. You took power naps in between and were still able to piece things together.
Mm-hmm.
So for technical purposes, you're tired, but you're just tired from having to stand there or even just sit there and do nothing but that for days, but you're not exhausted.
Then okay, what I'll do is I'll Clatter's still carrying me, but when we're on the ship,
you're like tired, and it does feel nice for Clatter to pamper you by carrying you.
I'll find Kui and tell her that the Gon said that her dad is everywhere for whatever that means. I don't know, but he's here. Good night. That's what I'll tell her.
We could ask where the Lady of Pain is. We could ask if Invidi's a god too.
I mean, we just didn't have the time.
You could have asked
shame.
if he's a god.
So here's a drink. Go to bed.
I don't want to drink. I'm going.
Okay. Well, you get some sleep.
The rest of you, other than tending to Glacé's needs, are perfectly well rested.
All right, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think we should give the Marauders to the Patrollers. I wasn't convinced, and although we don't have a way to destroy them right away, we can probably get the Serenitals on the Patrollers' side by telling them that we can help them find more Gons, and that can become our new missive. If we find more Gons to make a full scale, we have an emergency button if the Marauders get out of hand. That will appease both the Patrollers and the Serenitals, and will give us a fighting chance against the Dark Trine. I think that's the best option we have.
Unless the Patrollers are in with the Dark Trine and we don't know it.
Oh, there's no way. They would have had to take so many losses for that. We saw the aftermath of them fighting the Trine in person.
Easiest way to fight the Marauders than thinning them out.
Don't
Well,
take
pardon.
this. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't think the GIF are very cunning.
Duplicitous.
Duplicitous is a better word. Yes, I feel like that's more of kind of in the ballpark of the rest of the consortium. the GIF seem pretty. I don't want to say simple, but you know they kind of wear their hippo-shaped hearts on the sleeves. Yes, that would be quite a long con to convince us that they weren't working with the Dark Trine.
They wear their little Debbies on their sleeves. You can always see them. Always a mess. But I mean, that's true. But I don't know. I mean, I'm still undecided about what to do with them. If I have a say in it.
Oh, of course we all have a say. I'm just overthinking things as per usual, and trying to come up with some sort of scheme.
I think that's a great idea. Everybody's got a check and balance. Everybody got what they want. That was a good plan.
There is however, not to downplay my own scheme, but there is a window of time and a possibility that we may never find 8 Gons to make a scale, at which point we may have doomed the entire universe if the Marauders get out of hand.
What about
Save it from one threat, introduce another. Kind of the way things are.
Okay. All right. I follow. What are you thinking, VD?
I honestly think that it's needed to keep them as a failsafe against evil. There's just too much loss that goes into not having them. Don't want to use them for recreational purposes when they can be used to save lives first.
And Glace?
You guys keep conversing. I'm gonna run to the PP room real quick.
Okay.
Glacé in the earpiece.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the patrollers just want to use it to just roll over the Dark Shrine, and well, that's all good and well. I can't help but think, like, people like my sister, who are in prisons in this Dark Shrine, will just be victims of a Witchlight Marauder, so I cannot agree with passing it on to the patrollers.
We
I
need
say
an...
the masterminds.
Really?
That's
I
who I
do.
was thinking as well. I mean, I was gonna ask. I mean, they're smart. They would be able to figure some of this out a little bit more. They might know more about them as well.
You know the phrase, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's kind of the same about intellect. It's the smarter they are, the easier they are to fool.
I understand where you're coming from, but I'm concerned, again, a little bit of a personal bias here because I worked with them for a while. But they could be tinkering with the Marauders for years and years and years without coming up with any sort of major results that they deem noteworthy. Meanwhile, the Dark Shrine would be running amok across the universe and...
Yep, they've kind of got a track history of letting a lot of like space slugs just move in under their nose.
But now, listen, there's a common enemy even for the Dark Shrine. It might change the tides. We have the Vespers, who want to get rid of everything. And I think that our conversation with the Consortium exposing Sigil, the 10th pit, we have a little bit of proof. I think that might change a little bit. And if the Witchlight Marauder is continually being tinkered with whatever the masterminds are doing and not getting rid of the Dark Shrine and potentially innocent people along with them, I think that's fine.
What if, taking all that into consideration, we let the patrollers hold the leash and we get a committee that decides when to undo that leash? We can have someone from the Bullionaire Bastions, someone from the Masterminds, someone from the Serenitals, and who better than us to sit on that committee and decide when is the right time to use them?
I think that's a wonderful plan.
You know, I think that's necessary too, because if we can get the Shrine to surrender, we could get your sister back. We can't just let the patrollers just unleash the Witchlight Marauders. All the slaves that they've captured would die with them. We have to do it tactfully. Have them perhaps release all their slaves, turn themselves in. And I suppose that might work.
I think you're right. This thing is too big for just one faction to have a hold of. And even then, I don't even know if the Billionaire Bastions really need to be involved.
I think that's correct. However, if we think about this diplomatically, maybe we could make it so that the Billionaire Bastion can be outvoted if necessary.
Ooh.
We have one representative from the Bastion, 2 or 3 from the Masterminds. We'll say it's scientific advisors, and then a couple or even one from the Serenitals. We're already going to be helping the Serenitals anyway. I'm sure they'll agree. And then again, we just give the patrollers the leash. And then I think we should all probably be on that committee.
Absolutely.
I think we all have a pretty wide breadth of opinions on a lot of things.
There is that one question we could ask is, why don't we keep it?
Oh.
We're all beholden to them anyway. Who better to know what to do with it or how to not use it than us?
I don't trust myself with that, frankly. I'm not saying no, but I'm concerned.
Yeah, and if all of us die on one plane crash, like, who's gonna do
Oh God, yeah. Oh my goodness. Then you just have a marauder running around.
But that would
That's-
be the whole point of the committee then. Where
Right.
nobody is doing anything with it until we all have an agreement.
That's
on what
right.
to do with it.
The main purpose should be to combat threats that threaten the entire Twixt. But it has to be democratic. If we're trying to use a weapon like that to save the entire Twixt, the majority of the Twixt, democratically appointed committee speaking, should agree that it is indeed necessary.
I'm okay with that.
We need to bring proof to prove that there is a greater evil than this Witchlight Marauder.
Also true.
You collected samples from that big alien smushy thing, did you not?
The Atropal?
Yeah.
Oh yes, skin and blood, in fact.
Do we have anything when we fought that thing on the no, they all disappeared.
They're very good at not leaving evidence behind, aren't they?
We have the 10th pit communicator.
I think, even if we don't have evidence, the best thing... I think you were right, Glosse. The best thing we can do is just tell them. Just say it. If they believe us, great. If they don't, at least we tried.
That's okay. So I think the first thing that we need to do is tell them. Should we tell them? Oh, what should we tell them first?
Hello.
I mean,
Good note.
the reason why we don't want just one faction to have the Witchlight Marauder is because there is a greater evil that we should be worried about right now, and
That's a good angle. I like that. Yes, that's good.
even yes, okay, and then it's even going against the Dark Trine. Okay, all right, we can start there. Kui, take notes.
Dictated, not read. Read that back to me.
Did you all want me to go with you? Kui says. When the
Oh.
time comes.
That would be lovely. If you think the ship is safe without you here, then yes, we'd love you to come.
Okay.
Oh, hey, and if we can get since Raidriar is supposedly everywhere, maybe he could be, if we can find a way to contact him, someone to help us find the Gone, since he's everywhere.
Oh.
Or I mean, I would think he would know where they would be if he's everywhere.
I'm just getting the impression that we haven't seen the last of him in person. Perhaps he'll show up when we need him.
Like when we need the Gohan. Perfect.
The answers that we got from the... Were they metaphorical at all, or were they pretty straightforward? I mean, them being in song and all that.
They were directly translated as I mentioned to you, Glace.
So they were very long, but very... I mean, it was very straightforward. No metaphorical lyrics that I heard.
I understand how he can be everywhere. It's kind of one of those impossibility things.
Okay, you're right. That one I don't understand. I don't know.
Do we know the specific goal of each faction for the Marauder? Do we know exactly what they truly want to do?
Well, not truly, but we know the general goal each one wants to do. Patrollers want it for combat. Masterminds want to learn how to control it and improve it. Billionaire Bastion wants to use it for terraforming and expansion, and Serenitals want to destroy it.
I think we have our answers.
Yes.
Kui tells you the memories I regain on Numenos help me remember aspects of my dad. He was trying his best to find a way, as I mentioned before, to connect us to the universe itself, to give us some safe way to continue existing, even if we didn't have our physical bodies. That answer means a lot to me because I think it means that my father's research was a success in the end.
That's great, Kui.
He's part of the universe.
I still feel him out there.
Well, then I think you're right, Glace. I think he could. If we could find him, he could help us.
Well, good. Ask him to find 8 Gons for us. Radriar, find 8 Gons for us and come to us when you find them. Thank you. I mean, he's here. You heard it right.
I don't know enough about all of this arcane intellect stuff to say that didn't just work, what you just did. So I'm going to hope that it did.
Oh, and I want a pizza.
Get Fluffy a pizza. Thank you.
Please, can we have Radriar show up like 10, 20, 30 sessions from now just with like a pizza?
It's got anchovies on it.
It's like
God damn it. Get out of here.
It's like a digital pizza with like little zeros and ones as the topping.
Binary, love it.
Okay. So, high level. We mentioned that there are threats in the Twixt that could need the Witchlight Marauders to deal with. And in fact, we know that the Dark Trine does. However, we cannot allow the Dark Trine to exist without a failsafe. Therefore, we go through with the plan we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We give the leash to the patrollers. We help the Serenitals find enough Gons to form a scale in case worse comes to worse. And then we form a committee that must democratically, by majority, rule proper use of the Marauders. And if we need to throw a bone to the Masterminds and allow them to do a small amount of research, patroller approved, on it, then so be it.
Are we agreed on that one? Is everybody good with that?
Well, technically, Sun Kong hasn't been able to weigh in, and this is pretty important. But
because Chemo would speak up, he'd say, "I disagree. I think the fewer hands on this, the better. I like your original idea, giving it to the patrollers and the Serenitals. Two people opposite opposed. They have to agree, otherwise it just sits there."
I suppose if things become too democratic, then we could have to deal with bureaucracy. That's why I think we should make sure that we outnumber anyone on the committee no matter what.
Kibo doesn't look super relieved by that thought, but more relieved than before. He nods.
I'm still worried about the patrollers.
Yes. Oh. Maybe we can... We need somebody that can design something that ensures that we're not all just acting on our word. There needs to be some sort of arcane intellect or device or something that actually releases the Marauder for attack. We would need the masterminds for that. Or maybe somebody else. I don't know.
Peace Walker.
I don't think I understand what you mean.
It's hard to. Sorry, this technology stuff I can't articulate it well. It's not my area of expertise. Imagine like a collar, but there has to be a certain number of keys inserted in it to unleash the beast, right? That's the whole point of a committee.
Sure.
Otherwise, who's to say the patrollers just decide to disobey us and release the Marauder on their own? It needs some sort of restrainment, which I think is where the masterminds could come in, unless... Do you think...
I'll put that cage around the gaunt. The gaunt.
Oh.
Are you suggesting a mechanical conduit for it?
I was wondering if your old friend Cos would have been versed in something like that.
Yeah, we could just strap him to the thing. What's the ultimate idea?
No, not like that. Goodness, no. I was wondering if you could design something, maybe with Faw's help, not strap him to it. How awful! Just enjoying his afterlife, and we strap him to the belly of the thing that ate him in the first place.
Oh my goodness.
Let him be the mind control conduit.
Oh.
Oh, just think, Glossy, just think about Kaz roaming the galaxy with that thing.
No.
That idea. I know where my boat's gonna go. We don't need a body for Kaz. We could just get a conduit and place his soul inside of it. I mean, what would Kaz? Would you want to come back and control the thing that killed you? Just think, you'd be able to control. You'd be the most powerful.
Rinkas, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm so sorry, Rinkas.
I immediately rescind this idea.
It's a nice idea, Rinkaz. It's absolute pure insanity, but it's a nice idea.
No, he would be out for it.
Speaking of an oversight committee, is there anyone outside of the consortium we would trust that could also be on it with us?
Who do we know outside the... Lushy. No, well, I guess technically he's...
I'm pretty sure we couldn't put Decker on that thing. That would get him killed almost immediately.
Oh my goodness.
We're both kind of pariahs, and it's both kind of our faults.
What about Yurna? She's outside of the masterminds, right?
Worked with them, but essentially a third party, yes.
What about Creakin?
What about?
Know who he is.
Only if there was a large planetoid box of answers I could ask where Creakin is.
Dawn, that would have been a good thing to ask, wouldn't it?
I know he'd be honored to be on there, and honestly, he knows just as much, if not more, sometimes than we do about all this stuff.
Yeah.
He was there originally too.
He knows so much that I bet if we appointed him a seat on the council, he'd show up for it if he could.
Oh. That, I don't know. He was the most wanted man in the Twixt, so I'm not sure how well that will go around.
Well, that's a misunderstanding.
True. Kind of.
So, if there's any questions about information that your characters would know that you may have forgotten, you're welcome to ask.
I'm just now opening up the journal.
But
The urinal.
you guys have about 5 more hours or so to go. If there's anything else you'd like to do, you all do remember that when the time comes, given to you by Visari, crafted by the Masterminds, you are given the Maester Teleshifter, that when its filament inside of the glass cylinder in the center of the device begins to glow, it will be time for everyone who wishes to go to place their hands on it to be teleported to a secretive location to have the meeting. You are also told essential members only.
Ah, fair. Yeah, I'm looking through our journal, and everyone is either a part of the consortium or would be a really bad idea to put on the committee other than maybe Cregan.
Put Schlev on there.
And maybe, no, and maybe Urina.
Urina is probably not a bad idea.
Yeah. That, yes.
Could we nominate both?
Sure, why not? I mean, we're proposing it, right?
So, where do we go from here, guys?
Oh man, I'm currently formulating a council. If anybody else wants to RP or something like that.
So, in that time, I guess we would draft up like an official document or an official proposal, so that it would be like well thought out with nice diction. You know, like a good formal presentation on our idea, right?
I think so.
Makes sense. Does anyone have anything in particular they want to do within those last couple of hours? Sorry, Luke, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I want to help with that. That's
Sure.
all.
Okay.
Find God and pray.
We can say that you guys can work and get that drafted up and still have like 3 or so hours hanging.
I have one more wild thing. If possible.
Is it weird and wild by any chance?
Could be weird depending on your point of view on it. If there's any time left, I do want to see if there's any way I could get past all of the stories. See if there's like a last thing written down before I met with Alderman. But I want to, as best I possibly can, try to convey this information to Jira and see if Jira could tell me anything about it otherwise. See if Jira knows anything about any of these past lives or about Alderman. Just if it makes any sense to Jira, if I could communicate to that to him, I guess, with basic thoughts, ideas, and emotions.
You have 3 hours left. You crack open your tome, flipping through the various pages. Towards the end, and what looks to be the roughest scrambling of scrawled notes, Alderman jots down in corners of the book, this tome, that all of these things he had cataloged before, after Sigil's destruction, after he lost his memory of it, working with the peacekeepers, now as the regional manager, newly instated of the Twixt, that he continued to dream these things that were written in the book. He didn't believe them for a while. He had no memory of them. He was unsure of their veracity. So, unbeknownst to the rest of the peacekeepers, he did some digging using his authority in the vaults housed at the peacekeeper towers. And lo and behold, he stumbled upon the same tome, this one he's currently writing in, that he saw in his dreams. One that the peacekeepers had very purposefully attempted to keep him from discovering. The last bits of notes mention that he is preparing to have you meet with him so that he can convey this information to you. And also that he hopes you understand what he did. Those are the last notes that you read.
Oh, I guess I understand, but still really far out there to me. Jira, you know anything, buddy?
Jira jumps on the tome and nods. It taps its tail to you at your chest lightly, and then curls its tail to tap back on it.
Right. I have to write it down. How would I explain? Vidi would write down in the tome. Have you always been there each time?
Jira looks at the writing and cocks its head to the side. Jira squawks and nods, and again taps its tail to your chest and then back to its own chest.
Okay, buddy. I just kind of give him a pet and say, we'll have to continue this discussion when we can dig a little bit deeper, but I think I understand.
Jira coos as you pet it. "3 hours left. Anyone doing anything else?"
Had a blink. Oh man, Fa, you should have gotten your bird and had it talk to the planet. Just an infinite loop.
Oh shit! What is it? It only says one thing though. It doesn't say different
Tell me
things.
more.
Tell me more.
Exactly.
Wait. What are you guys talking about?
Poly progress right here. Glosse's new replacement for red.
What is that?
Oh,
Beautiful.
it's
Did you take a raven and bedazzle it? What is that abomination?
No, we took bedazzled and ravened it.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, that's not right. That's
it's all the
disgusting.
rave, and
It's
Yeah.
it's positively, it's
Better, we know.
Whose idea was this? It was Glacé's idea. Don't even tell me.
No, see,
Mostly points at Glacé away.
I point at Paul instantly. What? He made it.
human children have little, dolls. This is the perfect one for a little baby Kenku to play with as well.
Kui, if we were to propose a council to determine the proper use of Witchlight Marauders, is that something you'd like to be a part of?
Absolutely.
Done. 14th member.
So, you guys all begin to feel a little antsy. This arrangement, these ideas you guys had, you have worked over the past couple of hours, drafting up a well-documented version. As you are all having a bit of conversation, speaking with old Gani, Ukog, Kui, Lizzie, and amongst yourselves, a bit of laughter erupts as the bedazzled raven flies about the room and flitters around.
Hate it.
As it flies, circling the room, you all watch, and then your attention is drawn to the Maester Teleshifter on the astrolabe, the steel table that displays the illusory planets, and you see a bright blue light begin to blink from its center.
It's
Oh.
showtime.
Oh, it's a bright blue light. Is it one line or two? Are we pregnant? Is that how it works?
Did you piss on it, Rinkaz? Because that's not how that works.
I added that. I added that to the document.
Okay. What do you guys do?
All right, everyone. We're gonna touch this thing at the same time. Aesop, you have something in your beak right here.
I'm wearing a mask.
Oh. Well, you can still smell
Aesop
it.
turns around and like scrapes something like.
All right, are you ready?
I start to walk up to it and I look around. Cregan, if you're here hiding inside the ship and you really want to join a council to figure out what to do with that murderous thing, now's your chance. Kaz, anybody else? Anybody?
Kaz is dead.
Oh, since we're all talking to the air, the thin air. Remember what I asked for, Matriarch? Wink.
Guys, no one's ever really gone.
I mean, it was worth a shot.
Who all... No one answers, unfortunately, Rinkat. Who all touches the teleshifter?
Me.
Glacé is Clatter touching the teleshifter.
I am grabbing Clatter by its armored wrist.
They did say essential members only, not that I don't...
Walking suit of armor. It's a magical item.
Huh. Well, alright then.
Unless Clatter, are you a sentient item?
I would love if he talked now for the first time. Is like, why didn't anyone ever try talking to me before?
Clatter says nothing.
You know what? I'll leave him here. Fine. You be good, Clatter. Mama will be back.
Clatter takes a step back to follow your directions. Kui steps up, ready to place a hand on. Fa, Nvidi, Rinkaz, Sungkong, you guys all touching it, I'm assuming?
Yeah. I don't want to, but yes.
Okay.
Kimo says, I don't understand half of what you were just talking about, so...
Good, we need an honest salt of the earth gentleman on the council.
What? Oh no. I was just saying good luck, goodbye, but oh!
Kima, you touching it too?
I suppose.
Okay.
You're on the council. You better.
All of you touch the Maester Teleshifter. The blinking, glowing blue light in the center begins to blink more rapidly and more rapidly, almost becoming a stuttering, flickering light. And then there is a bright flash.
I don't like it.
In a deafening quiet.
You're all dead.
Again.
You're in water! Congratulations, you are all in water once again!
You're all
Stay
crabs on a
free.
Ooh. Nice. Look, there's clatters already here for you. Honorary clatters.
fancy like climbers. Got their feet crossed.
Touching the teleshifter, as the bright flash fades, some of you sort of reflexively using a free hand to throw your arms up at your eyes. As you blink, as you put your hands down, you find yourselves standing in a large room with a Baroque aesthetic. Dark stone walls, a marble floor, various statues lining the walls depicting what looked to be warriors in armor, and insignia on their plate mail chests of a star or perhaps a sun rising from a horizon with two eyes set within it.
Ooh.
Tall, colorful stained glass windows are evenly spaced about this circular stone room. In the center, a large stone table with a number of seats sit at the center. As you all peer around and begin to get your bearings in this place, various other figures begin to appear in the room at the same time. Hang on just a second. Let's see here. With a flash of light, you all turn to see appearing in one of the corners of the room Expeditioneer Alec from the Pioneer Patrollers. Along with him is another figure, a tall, rather imposing and highly decorated patroller, lizard folk, who stands about a foot taller than even Rinkaz.
Yes!
Yo! What a cad.
Yes!
Rinkaz tries to stand on his toes a little.
Chest out.
As they appear, Alec turns to you all and says, "It is good to see you again. Might I introduce you all to Head Pioneer Gaxomax, the highest ranking of the patrollers."
Wow.
I bow and give a salute.
Aesop bows. Whatever is the respectful distance of bowing to someone of that stature.
Is my voice changer working?
Not right now.
Is it?
Let's see here. Let's
Good old clownfish.
Good old clownfish. Let's see. Set up system integration. Ba 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 ba. Okay. He turns to you all and in a deep voice says,
Well met, tycoons.
A pleasure.
I have heard stories about you. Most of them good.
We do what we can, I assure you.
appearing in the opposite corner of the room with a bright flash of light, a robotic construct form.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Oh no.
despite its construct form, you are all easily able, by its
Oh.
general shape
Oh
and gait,
no.
able to tell that this is
Oh,
X22.
no. Oh,
I love him. I love him.
Want him to be my grandpa.
Well, we meet again.
He says in a robotic voice.
Holy shit. Too
Looking,
soon.
looking spry.
Ha!
Look-
Better than ever in this robot body.
You got a little spray in your step.
like a well-oiled machine he is.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. It's a pleasure to see you, X22.
You as well.
He says. Appearing next to him is a
Kissable. Kissable.
He just gats us immediately.
I'm kissable.
a gnome who, from the neck down, seems to be fully robotic or construct in form. Attached to his back is an interesting looking tool or weapon, perhaps. He has goggles adorned that he pulls up onto his forehead, him scratching and twirling his mustache a bit. He turns to you all and says,
Nice to meet you, tycoons. I am Gizzlebolt, the chief architect of the Masterminds.
A pleasure.
Appearing in another corner of the room, you all see the familiar face of Twee.
Hey guys, it's been a long time.
Did I meet this thing? I can't remember
You've
if
seen him
Aesop...
before, I'm sure.
Okay, all right.
The young Furbolg that was your current representative to the Serenitals.
Oh, Echo.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, you're
Oh.
good now, I think. Appearing next to Twee is Perennial Abloom. We meet again, tycoons, she says in an otherworldly, almost ethereal voice that seems to echo through the room.
Hi.
Appearing in another corner of the room with a flash of light, you see both Glimra and Glitz Gilderkin.
Demon worshippers, I attack! No, I'm kidding.
Well met,
Tycoons, Glitz the dwarf says.
Hi.
Glimra looks to you all. Good to see you again.
Indeed.
Appearing between the two is Leshy.
Lushy.
Leshy turns to you all and flitters his fingers. Well, tycoons, so good to see you again, he says.
Oh, Lushy.
It really is. It really is.
Hey, Leshy, do you know how to cast scrying?
Fa! Fa!
Not the time? Okay.
Not the,
wait.
not the...
Leshy looks confused. Each of the patroller members look at one another and greet each other. They all then, after shaking hands or doing their bows to each of the factions that make up the Cosmo Consortium, point a hand at the number of stone seats that sit around this dark stone table and begin to take their seats.
I suppose we do the same?
Okay. As you each take your seats, each of the factions look to one another. And Gaxomax looks up and says, "Let us not start yet. There is one more."
Uh-oh.
And appearing with a final flash of blue light is Diedrich.
Oh, Diedrich.
I was going to ask about him. I thought he was dead in the waste by now.
Well met, tycoons, he says, as he flips a cape behind him and takes a seat.
He knows about the 10th pit.
Oh, things. This is good. These are good things.
Maybe Doran should be in charge.
A Bloom turns to your group and says, "Thank you for taking the time to join us in this convocation."
No problem. I mean,
We wish for you to join this council as a third party to help us reach a verdict in the deliberation over what the genius have termed the Ultra XWM, or Witchlight Marauder. This place that we are in is a secretive meeting place that is to be kept undisclosed for security purposes. We have no doubt that interlopers would love to know its location and potentially intervene if they knew that top members of the consortium were gathered here in one place.
Definitely. This may seem like a small detail, of course, but what is the name of this place?
It requires no name.
Ah, I see.
The less information about it, as far as we have deemed, the better.
Acceptable.
The meeting place, if you will.
Ah.
It's to the point.
So then, let us begin. And all together, all of the factions in sync say, "Let the convocation begin."
We say that too? Glasse, what do we do?
Are they looking? Are they looking at us to say anything?
They have some papers in hand. They have finished that in sync saying, and Glimmer looks up and says, "You may not be aware, tycoons, but when there are large events, large enough that they could affect the entirety of the Twixt, the factions decide to convene and speak about it, thus to keep the power balance in check between each of us." Glitz speaks up. "This is the same thing that happened with the Omega prison ring. We were conflicted about our decision, but we were able to come to terms and reach a decision and finality." Gizelbolt turns to you all.
There are a number of things that I would like to first address. Details and security measures surrounding the Ultra XWM. The Ultra XWM has been in development by the genius for years now. It was always meant to be the ultimate form of Marauder. All other XWM specimens were created specifically to gather data from and run a few field tests to help simulate the capabilities of the Ultra model. Once the data was collected, all other XWM were collected with the help of the consortium and properly disposed of by launching the units into nearby stars. The heat of their surfaces, destroying them.
Okay, good. Somebody write that down. Somebody write down. You can also throw Witchlight Marauder into a star.
The
Okay,
Ultra...
but they were... Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Glasse.
I was gonna tell Aesop, but they were also in Everwinter and ate the entire place and weren't destroyed, so we don't know that's true.
Fuck.
The Ultra model is the only one left. However, it is our finest work in terms of XWM research. It is an elite class Marauder, the most imposing of all previously recorded versions. Its biological capabilities augmented by the Maesters. It is a Class B size model. To put it more bluntly, it is roughly the size of a large moon. Its body physicality is nematode, or worm-like. Though over time, our research suggests that it could possibly mutate into other forms. Those of you who may not be too aware of the history of the Witchlight Marauder, as they would consume and terraform planets into nothing, they would use the energy pulled from the biomass that they would consume and turn it into other, smaller, reproduced units. We have made sure to alter the biology of the Ultra XWM so that it cannot replicate or produce other variations of itself. However, even with that said, the destructive power of the Ultra XWM cannot be overstated. It can decimate and render an A-class celestial body lifeless and uninhabitable within 3 days. It is resistant to nearly all forms of damage, including heat, so that it can tunnel to a planetoid's core and destroy it from the inside out if necessary. Potentially most formidable, it can also spell jam. To ensure that all of the factors in this discussion are clearly covered, I would now like to address the security measures that we have put in place, along with the agreement of the Consortium faction. The Masterminds have built an artificial planetoid, codenamed Beldam, to house the Ultra XWM. It is a dark, rocky, moon-like structure. Surrounding its surface, at cloud altitudes, is a series of massive steel chronal relays that transmits an arcane web of time-stop magic to engulf the entire body of the moon. Anything within this arcane web is completely trapped in a single moment of time. This includes the Ultra XWM, who currently hibernates under its rocky surface, trapped in but a slice of time itself. Because of the time-stop technology, as was reverse engineered from the others that we found, the Ultra XWM is currently no threat, and the thickness of the steel relays would require weeks to be broken through. This is even assuming that assaulters would have some form of siege weapons to begin with. This gives us a time buffer if there are any offensive forces who wish to attempt to invade for whatever reason. As for the location, Beldam is currently situated in the southwest quadrant of the Twixt. Built within the surrounding Calamity Belt, a hazardous ring of rocks that shift and crash into one another, creating a treacherous route to Beldam. The Calamity Belt is also nearby a local star where a number of focoid orbit. Tycoons, are you familiar with focoids?
Are we familiar with Fokoi? That doesn't sound familiar to me.
No,
Never heard the
explain.
name before.
Okay. We are not.
The focoid are massive creatures that have the appearance of 3 massive transparent discs. They use their bodies in a lens-like magnification as an ability to focus the sun's beams, to fire off at immense distances to immobilize and debilitate prey.
Huh.
All of this meaning that even if Beldam is discovered, it would take weeks of slow and cautious approach to not only avoid the wrath of the focoids, but also to safely traverse the Calamity Belt to reach Beldam.
Good defense.
As we head into our debate, control of the Ultra XWM happens via a strange, or not, no, he doesn't say strange, via this, he says, and pulling out, floating in front of him, hovering over the table now, is what looks to be a strange, floating upside down pyramid. Its color continues to shift. It's never one color at once, and areas of the pyramid begin to shift and change, such that it's almost difficult to even pick or describe what color it would be at any current moment. It continues just flicker, slowly orbit, floating about a foot off of the table in front of Gizelbolt. Gizelbolt turns and says, "This is a Witchlight key. With this, if we were to insert it into the surface of Beldam, it would reach the Ultra XWM, and through it we would be able to have a rudimentary form of control over it. I believe you were at least given the intel that we had reverse engineered some form of technology that would help us control the XWM Wyld Tycoons."
What was the
This
question?
is it.
Oh, never mind. Okay, that was.
Any questions so far? Gizelbolt says.
Can people just teleport to it?
If they were to teleport within the arcane web where the chronal relays are set surrounding Beldam, they themselves would be trapped in a moment of time.
Ah. A formidable defense at the very least.
It not only keeps the Ultra XWM trapped, but also any interlopers who would seek to try and awaken it.
Who controls the web?
The web is self-sustaining. It is fueled by magic. And some amount of magians, he says.
And
Let's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, is there any way to corrupt that or take it down?
It has been set up in such a way that the only way to turn it off would be to destroy the number of relays that surround the web.
Let's say, hypothetically, something catastrophic happened and the relays failed. What would happen to the Marauder? Could it be destroyed in some way that you know of?
as far as the consortium is aware, and considering its complete immunity to sun-like celestial bodies, we currently have no capacity to destroy the Ultron XWM.
Interesting. That's all from me for now. For the time being, at least.
When you say its immunity to sunlight, celestial bodies, are you talking about gone?
I think he means a planet.
Stars? Okay, stars.
Stars, yes. Suns, if you will.
Okay.
The Ultra XWM can eat suns, if it needs to.
Right.
My goodness.
We will, of course, begin to dive deeper into each of our own perspectives, if you will, tycoons, if you had no further questions. But we are happy to answer anything else you may have, at least in terms of the details and security surrounding the specimen.
Its destructive power is recognized and noted. Is it capable of something more precise, exacting? If there were, for example, a threat to all of Twixt on the surface of a planet, but one did not want a planet completely obliterated and rendered uninhabitable. Is that something this model could do?
A question that we, the Masterminds, are happy to pick your brains with. And part of the reason that we would hope that you understand a bit of our perspective. The Witchlight key was reverse engineered by some of our brightest minds to serve as a rudimentary form of control over the Marauder. However, the only form of control that the key can currently exert is to choose in which direction and which bodies that the Witchlight consumes to try to satiate its never-ending hunger.
I see.
An acute situation, as you mentioned, would require better defensive upgrades to both the key and the Marauder itself.
A dog does not tend to notice lice upon its back. Would it ignore smaller fleets of ships? Or can it only see... or can it attack those as well?
Based on only our hypothetical data we have gathered, considering the rudimentary form of control, even if you were to pinpoint a celestial body that you would want the Marauder to consume, there is little evidence to state that anything caught in its path would not likely be consumed as well.
I see.
As we have tried to bring to the table, and we will discuss further, there is a method of control for the Marauder in its current state, but in a very primitive form.
I see.
Well then, I believe I have covered all of the basics in terms of a predisposition. I believe it is time that we begin the meat of our discussions. Perennial Bloom looks across the table at everyone, and then back to the group. Before we do, there is one more issue that we must tend to before we dive into our discussions. Someone from the consortium has been leaking information about this project, as well as providing the Cosmo Consortium with false data, and has been doing so for some time. In this room, one of the consortium, whether aware of it or not, is a traitor.
Woof.
How did you find this about? What? What?
We have known for some time. Though we are unsure of the methods. It could be a double agent. It could be a sleeper agent. I am not free of guilt from this as well. That is part of the reason that we have brought you here, tycoons. We want you to serve as an intermediary and help us flush the traitor out. For all intents and purposes, consider anyone in this room, even myself, just to be sure.
Can I insight check everyone? Like, I want to insight check Diedrich and Lushy specifically. Like, are they looking shifty? Are they like surprised that this is news, or are they sweating, or like how are they taking this? Is what I want to
Give me
get out
an
of it.
insight check on each of them.
Lushy and Diedrich. Oh shit.
Lushy seems to be calm, and there is a sense about his shifting movements that he is aware that this was probably coming at some point.
Okay.
Although it's difficult to read Glacé, because you are not sure which Lushy this is.
Right.
I think it's absolutely not Lushy. It's Grat's body clone Lushy.
Diedrich, however, has during this whole time remained straight-faced, never really showing emotion, just sitting upright, listening to everyone. It's difficult to read anything from him.
Does anyone have true sight?
Nope.
Tycoons, we want you to use whatever capabilities you have to flush them out.
I think there are a couple things going on here. I'm gonna lean in, and I'm gonna like motion my eyes to Diedrich and motion my eyes to Lushy and the gang over there. And I think the 10th pit we should bring up with the whole sleeper agent thing. We should bring up the 10th pit.
I think so. I agree.
Okay. There are some things that we discovered through our travels as Wyld Knots from place to place on different factions' planets with the different people. How long have you all been a part of this group? Who's the oldest member here? Like, who's the member that's been here the longest?
Diedrich raises his hand. All of the other consortium looks to Diedrich as you say this.
And when was this group formed? How many years ago?
You're speaking to the consortium when their origin was.
This
It was...
group in particular.
Are you speaking of these particular individuals? Or the consortium itself?
The meeting room group.
Well, he looks to the others. Lushy turns. Oh, we've been at it for some years, but it's not as though we each hold the same positions or relative places within our various factions. People come and go. We've been at it for a few years, but we are not the only ones who have met over time.
Diedrich, what do you represent?
What do I represent?
Yes, we know what everyone here represents. Who are you representing?
Diedrich looks to each of the consortium factions. They each look back at him. Gaxomax says, "It doesn't matter. We will still find who the fugitive is." Diedrich nods and turns to you all. He says, "When you first found me, Tycoons, on your ship, months and months ago, perhaps even over a year, the passage of time from being trapped within it is still something I have to get used to. When you met me, I was amnesiac. I was unsure of my past. I was trapped inside of your ship, and my memories of before had faded. But now I remember."
How'd you get your memories back, Diedrich?
Nearly 100 years ago, Dorian and myself were originally part of a crew called the Company of the Chalice.
Good name.
We were a good-hearted organization, keeping our eyes out and keeping tabs on the evils of the world. For some time, the Company of the Chalice has been keeping an eye on an organization known as the Peacekeepers.
Yes!
However, to understand them further, we saw fit, Diedrich, Dorian, and eventually a few others, that we needed to get our hands dirty by going undercover for the Peacekeepers, to learn more about their structured organization. So we splintered from the Company of the Chalice and formed the Eyes of Aurora.
Eyes of Aurora, like the symbols on the chest of the armor.
Yes. This is a secretive group that includes the top consortium members that you see sitting amongst us. Myself and Dorian, or D&D as some proclaim, are representative of the Eyes who came to the Twixt and founded the Cosmo Consortium, instilling their leaders with this secretive knowledge. A little over 100 years ago, both of us were worried when we gained intel of an arcane man building something that we assumed was for the Peacekeepers, and thus serving as double agents for them. They decided to have us work as bodyguards for this arcane man. This way we could learn both about what was going on in the construction of the ship and more about the Peacekeepers themselves. We served as bodyguards for the arcane man, and in that time learned that he had received a hefty payload of resources from them in help of its construction. We continued playing the part of bodyguards to assess the threat level that the ship imposed. We found a number of interesting items deep within the ship that both Diedrich, Dorian, and I attempted to abscond with, to look further into. The ship seemed to react to this in some perhaps magical defensive way. I was trapped in that room that you found me in. My body somehow aging at such a slow rate that I required no food or water. The eyes of Aurora, this group that you see before me, has filled me in during my absence. Dorian made it out alive and gave word to the, at the time, consortium leaders all those years ago to keep a close eye out on the ship. The eyes continued to do so, always keeping tabs on it, and for a while it lay dormant, until roughly 100 years later, when we became worried when the ship had disappeared from our radars and then reappeared, returning with a crew full of strangers, who, as far as we were aware, could have been working under the Peacekeepers. That group was you. The eyes, well, we lied to you in attempts to get to know you better and build a relationship, each of you serving some means for the various factions here of the Twixt. And we have been keeping a close eye ever since. Dorian may have passed away, but when the top leaders of the consortium found out that I was alive, they were the ones, Glace, that helped me regain my memory.
The leaders?
Yes.
Not the Peacekeepers?
No.
What did you find out from them?
During my interview, they attempted to ask me a number of questions, and although it was a debilitating plague to me for some years, my amnesia served as a benefit. They were able to draw nothing that they wanted from me, as I could not remember at the time.
Right. Well, on that subject, I don't think we should go right into the Twin Fist stuff. I think we should ask about Lushy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we want to, we could start with maybe. This is table talk. Sorry, but yeah. I mean, I agree with you as a player. Maybe trying to flush out whoever the traitor is first might be a good idea.
Yeah, so they can't factor in with the voting.
All right. So we know what Diedrich's been up to. So the next question is what Lushy's been up to. Hello.
Did you ask that out loud?
Oh, if we're continuing, I'll ask it out loud.
Yeah.
Lushy, where have you been, or are we calling it, or are we continuing?
Lushy says, "Oh, honey, have I got a story to tell you?" And that's where we will end this segment.
Hey, good cliffhanger.
So, did you guys have fun?
Yes, this is a good RP session.
Good. This will give you guys some time to maybe do a little bit of further table talk, maybe do some posts in the Facebook group if you want. Especially, maybe trying to do a little bit of that and help fill in Kevin, so that he may have some questions that he wants to pose, some stuff like that. So you guys have a number of things that there's obviously this discussion about the Witchlight Marauder that needs to be had. But first, the top leaders of the Cosmo Consortium
a group that is actually known by another name, the Eyes of Aurora, that seems to have always been aware of the Peacekeepers, is now asking you, a third party, to help them sniff out someone who they believe to be a traitor amongst their ranks.
These dirty liars. They knew the whole time.
Well, yeah.
So, keep that in mind. Let's maybe discuss it offline or online whenever you guys want. And we will meet back here next week for episode 102, Witchlight Hour, Part 2.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out for a overextended session. I really appreciate it. Thank you, A10. Thank you, community. Electrical Longboard Lurks. Poochie, thank you. Sweet Hallie. 10 Nerds, I appreciate it. Also, hey, thanks for the follow, buddy.
Look at all of these.
Thank you, Zagonzarelli. And of course, as usual, the universe has joined us. Thank you.
Thanks, universe.
I hope you guys watching had fun. That was a pretty RP heavy session, which was pretty cool. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you guys aren't already aware, there are stickers that you can use and slap them on the screen. And last time I had the stickers available, but I also forgot to edit the pricing, so it was like $1 to throw a sticker up there. I've edited all the prices. These are in bits. So right now, each of them are 25 bits, and that's like roughly translated to maybe like a little over a quarter. So something fun that's relatively cheap, but still helps to, you know, instead of just straight up donating some bits, you know, let's use them for a more fun way. You can wait till someone rolls a natty 20 or 1 and throw up a you know, Price is Right fail sound effect with a slap up there.
Oh no.
Or, you know, when one of the characters does something epic, throw one of their stickers up on the screen. I'm going to continue to, sort of like on a weekly basis, create more of the character-specific stickers. And I'm getting feedback from the group in the Facebook, so I can kind of create those for them. But yeah, so have fun with that. It used to be a panel down below in our About section, but I moved it actually into the Twitch chat itself. Or not Twitch chat, but in the Twitch video player. So it's there on the side of the screen. It should be on the right side. Also, if you're just watching this on mobile, you can still access that. It's just in the chat area, you'll see a little heart-looking purple sticker that you can click on and slap whatever you want up there. If you're a subscriber, you get exclusive stickers, so I really appreciate it. If you guys missed any of this, it is on our YouTube. It is on our video on demand here on Twitch. So check that out. Give us a follow. It's a click of a button. You get more Twitch channel points to use and do fun things like buy the party inspiration, stuff like that may come in handy at some point as we continue on into the season finale of Wyrd and Wyld Season 2. So thank you everybody for joining us. We will be back next week. Goodbye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.